Everywhere you look, there are Yankee fans. Coming to the ballpark, going through the turnstiles, you would think you're in the Bronx. But here's the giveaway. They don't have those sorts of trees in the Bronx. We are in Florida. That's tonight. The Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Tampa Bay Devil Rays in the second game of a three-game set from Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball. Along with Al Leiter, I'm Michael Kay. Last night, the Yankees had a chance to clinch their 13th straight postseason berth. They didn't get it done. They lost 7-6 in 10 innings. Usually, it's the Yankees that hurt people with the long ball. Not the case. Last night, it was the Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
And the Yankees being up 5-0, and in the sixth inning, a guy, Jorge Velandia, 208 at-bats, and what a special night it was for him. His father's being treated for bone cancer. This was his first big league home run grand slam. They had a six-run, sixth inning. There was a lot of walks in there with Ramirez and Bruni. And then in the bottom of the 10th inning, Deoner Navarro hits the home run off of Jeff Karstens to win the game.
And it was a tough loss for the Yankees, a happy moment for the Devil Rays. They've had a lot of these walk-off wins, amazingly enough. In fact, they've had 10 walk-off wins, tied for most of the majors. Navarro, that's his second career walk-off home run. And for the Devil Rays, that six-run, sixth inning really hurt the Yankees. Well, that was yesterday. Today, the Yankees will try once again to clinch. They have a 1 in the magic number column. So if they win, they are in for the 13th straight year. So let's take a look now at the New York Lottery pitching matchup, how they'll try to get it done. Chien-Ming Wang will go for his 19th win. He had 19 last year as well. 18-7, 3.72. J.P. Howell will get the start for the Devil Rays, 1-5 with a 6.80 ERA. They're hoping to get some help, the Yankees are, from Alex Rodriguez. He has been amazing. A grand slam last night, 53 home runs, 151 runs batted in. An incredible year. We'll break it down with Al in just a moment on Yes. The doors to the Ted Williams Hitters Hall of Fame, which is located here at Tropicana Field, will open one day, and in will walk Alex Rodriguez. Yes, he belongs in the pantheon of great hitters in the game of baseball. Ted Williams had 521 home runs. Alex Rodriguez hit his 517th last night, a grand season, and that was a grand slam.
And it was his third of the season here earlier in the year against the Orioles. He hit his first one. Of his 151 RBIs, 12 of them in 3 grand slams earlier with the Orioles, here in the middle of the season against the White Sox, and then last night. To think that he snapped a 55 homerless at-bat streak with this grand slam last night, the Yankees came up short. Unbelievable season, not only for the Yankee greats, but for Major League Baseball across the board. Great season for Alex Rodriguez.
Oh, he's up with the brand names, that's for sure. Since 1939, his 151 ribbies only trails the 155 knocked in by Joe DiMaggio in 1948, the Yankee franchise record. In 1931, Lou Gehrig hit 184. I don't think Alex is going to get that. He's got a hot final 5 games. Lineups, first pitch, baseball, coming up next on Yes. New York Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Avis, the official rental car company of the Yankees. Bigelow Tea, Joe Torre's green tea of choice. And by Infinity, who uses the power of design to create dynamic, beautiful automobiles. It's about 90 degrees in the Tampa-St. Pete area today, turning into a lovely evening as well. Unfortunately, this game being played under a dome. And Johnny Damon knows how to enjoy his life. A little pregame meditation with Raymond, the mascot for the Devil Rays. And there aren't many players that would have fun with a mascot like that, but Johnny Damon, hey, just realizes how lucky he is. He's kind of a kid, and he and Raymond always do something during one of these series here between the Yankees. And I can see you doing something like that, Al.
I could too. You know, through and through, he had a 5-hit game yesterday, Michael, and he just has a good time. You're right, he enjoys life, and this is baseball, and you should enjoy yourself, and certainly Johnny does.
And when you have coming out of a 5-hit game, you really feel good. You really feel good. Anyway, the Devil Rays have taken the field. The Yankees have a chance again to clinch. They have a chance to clinch, so we will see if they can pull it off. IO Digital Cable is the exclusive official HD sponsor for Yankees telecast on Yes. J.P. Howell is climbing up the mound. He'll take his warm-up tosses, and we'll take a look at the Yankees starting lineup, which is presented, as always, by our very good friends at Rico. The aforementioned Johnny Damon. He's in left field leading off, batting second, and playing shortstop, the captain, Derek Jeter. He has a 12-game hitting streak. He's 21 for 57 during the streak. Bobby Abreu's in right field hitting third. Cleaning up and playing third base, Alex Rodriguez with 53 home runs, 151 ribbies. Jorge Posada catches. Robinson Cano at second will bat sixth. Getting a start is the DH Shelley Duncan, as Hideki Matsui, who's pulling off all pitches, is going to get a night on the bench. Doug Minkiewicz at first base will bat eighth, and batting ninth and playing center field is Melky Cabrera.
And the 24-year-old left-hander, J.P. Howell, will be making his 10th start of the season. He actually was down in the minor leagues for most part of it. You see a high ERA of 6.80 ERA, 46 innings and 63 hits. Not good. He doesn't walk a whole lot of folks and doesn't strike out. Well, 45 strikeouts. Strikeout per inning's pretty good. Let's take a look at the Land Rover pitching scout report. Bombs away. Well, his last start after this start, he pitched on July 21st, the second game of a doubleheader, 5 innings, 10 hits, 7 runs. Got sent down to the minor leagues until he had to start the other day against Anaheim. He said it's all about movement. You're going to see a guy who sinks the ball, cuts it, he curves, doesn't throw very hard. And Longhorn legacy in 04, he led the Texas Longhorns to College World Series. He led Division I in wins, and that legacy, of course, Roger Clemens and Greg Swindell, Calvin Schiraldi's been a bunch, and he had some career at University of Texas.
Well, we are ready for baseball here in Florida. The Yankees against the Devil Rays. Howell on the mound, Johnny Damon in the batter's box, and let's do it. Some rough housing in the Tampa Bay dugout. They feel pretty good after their 10th walk-off win of the year last night. Deanna Navarro's 10th inning home run off Jeff Karstens. New night for the Yankees. Again, another chance to clinch, and if the Tigers lose, they clinch even without winning. And the first pitch is low, and we are underway here in St. Pete.
What a night for Johnny last night, the 5 hits, and whether he's hitting or not, there's a feeling of happiness with this guy, and I think it really helps him throughout.
Ground ball right side, Belandia. One away. Let's take a look at the defense put together by Joe Madden and the Devil Rays. You've got Johnny Gomes in left, B.J. Upton in center, and Delman Young over in right. Young has 16 assists. Iwamura, Wilson, Belandia, and Pena third to first, and Barrow behind the plate. And Howell's on the mound. Not a great defensive team. Only the Texas Rangers have made more errors. 121 for the Rangers, 112 for the Devil Rays. And that's a tough combination when you have shaky pitching and you give the other team extra outs.
Well, and it goes together, Michael. There's no question pitching and defense go together. So whether it's the pitchers are just putting too many balls in play and putting pressure on the defense to make plays all the time, or vice versa, but you, no doubt about it, if you're going to help your pitching staff, you better be able to field the ball.
Derek Jeter, a 12-game hitting streak, 20 for his last 49. His average has been bumped up into the 8th spot in the American League. Hitting .319 and .368 during the streak. And right before the streak, he was starting to slump a little bit. His knee's been bothering him. But Al said this on the postgame yesterday. This guy that doesn't complain, doesn't want to make excuses. A lot of guys would sit out with a knee problem, but he wants to play through it.
And Damon's another one. He was struggling with his health early on.
Swing and a miss. Jeter down on strikes.
That was a curveball right there. 0-2 curveball going down and in on Derek. Watch this breaking ball. And actually, the Yankees, I won't say they get a break, because Jesse Lynch was pitching in place of A.J. Burnett against Toronto. He threw the ball well. But James Shields was supposed to pitch. But they've shut him down for the year, Michael. And they got this 20% increase in innings cap. The Devil Rays do. And he's at 215 innings. James Shields is a fine young pitcher. He's 12-8 for the year, but they said that's enough. Previous year in the minor leagues, he had 186 innings between the minor leagues and some big league time.
Here's Bobby Abreu. And there's a strike. Abreu with 4 hits in his last 24 at-bats.
So everybody's got some rule to protect young pitchers, as they should, especially if it's the cornerstone and future of the organization.
Another strike. Yankees baseball is broadcast in Spanish. It's available by hitting the SAP button on your television. SAP is brought to you by Toyota, a smart way to keep moving forward. There's a young pitcher the Yankees have kept a very close eye on, Java Chamberlain. The 0-2 just missed. Howell working quickly and throwing strikes.
Wow, that would look like a good pitch there. Brian Gorman, home plate umpire, just calling that breaking ball away from Bobby. He'll come back with it again.
Not missing by much. Al mentioned Brian Gorman behind the plate. Paul Nauert is at first. Mike DeMuro is at second, and the veteran crew chief Jerry Davis over third. 2-2. Foul back. And the pitch. Almost hit him. And the count 3-2.
This J.P. Howell was with Kansas City, a supplemental draft pick in the first round. So just Bobby getting out of the way of that ball. He's a guy that, talk about superstition routine. Every single start since he's been in pro ball, even earlier than that in college, he goes through 3 different outfits, including socks. And I can tell you, in hot days, pitchers will go through different jerseys and undershirts. He changes everything 3 times. And he clearly says, yes, it's superstitious, and I've been doing it a long time, and I'm going to continue to do it. It's a little lefty.
Chopped right side. Pena fields, flips to Howell. And that'll do it. So the uniform changes certainly worked here in the first inning against the Yankees as the Bombers go down 1-2-3 against J.P. Howell. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. Yankees nothing. Tampa Bay coming to bat. Chien-Ming Wang's going for his 19th victory of the year. This will be his final regular season start. Let's see the Devil Rays starting lineup that will try to score some runs against him. And the lineup is presented by Rico. Akinori Iwamura, the third baseman, leads off, batting second. And playing second, Jorge Belandia, his first home run in the big leagues yesterday at the age of 32. It was a grand slam. Carlos Pena has hit the Yankees hard this year. The first baseman will bat third. Cleaning up and playing center field, B.J. Upton. Delman Young's in right field hitting fifth. Batting sixth in DH and Greg Norton. Johnny Gomes in left field will bat seventh. The number 8 hitter, the catcher, Deanna Navarro, the walk-off home run in the 10th inning off Karstens yesterday. And Josh Wilson, the shortstop, will bat ninth.
Yeah, the 27-year-old right-handed pitcher Chien-Ming Wang will be making his 30th start of the season. You see the fantastic 18-7 record, 3.72. He'll be up there in Cy Young votes. That's a fantastic season for Chien-Ming Wang. Let's take a look at the Lamb River pitching scout report. Limits the long ball. Just 2 home runs in his last 16 starts. Keeps the ball on the ground, and that's the worm burner. He's had 10 ground ball double plays in his last 8 starts. 32 for the season. He ties Major League lead with Fausto Carmona of the Cleveland Indians. And back-to-back, well, if he wins tonight, it'll be the first time that a minimum of 19 wins back-to-back since Tommy John did it in 79 and 80. 21 wins, 22 wins, respectively. And to think, Michael, he missed 4 starts at the beginning of the season, being injured in spring training. He didn't have his first start till April 24th.
Here's Iwamura. He is 3 for his last 15. And the pitch is high. If you think back, and it seems like it's, I don't know, about 3.5 years ago, with all the injuries the Yankees had coming out of spring training, Carl Pavano was the opening day starter. Iwamura wraps one into the gap in right center field, spits the outfielders, and it goes to the wall. Let's see if he tries for 3. Oh, he's going for 3, and he is going to make it standing. A triple to open up the first inning.
Well, he's a slap doubles hitter. He's got 7 home runs for the season. The Devil Rays are talking about moving him to second base. He feels comfortable at third, but he's really not the power guy. He showed some power here by hitting the right center field. Akinori Iwamura is pulling on this fastball. You see where Melky Cabrera was playing a little left center. The reason for that, on the left-handed hitters, Chien-Ming Wang, he's going to be throwing that sinker down and away. And pretty tough to pull a 95-mile-an-hour sinker down and away, but Iwamura just did.
Here's Belandia, and he grounds it to A-Rod. Nice play. Iwamura will hold up. 1 out. Yankees had the infield back. They were going to give up a run, but the third baseman is the only one that's actually close. So when he fielded the ball, Iwamura didn't risk it.
Well, yeah, especially early in the game here, Michael. You're going to give up this run to get it out. Nice little stab from Alex. Belandia last night, the hero, of getting his first home run after 208 big league at bats. What is it? A grand slam. A 6-run inning. The 6th inning.
There's Carlos Pena, second in the American League to Alex Rodriguez, who has 53 home runs. Pena A renaissance season for him, 42 home runs, and what a year to do it. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the season. Wrap the other way, foul.
Talking to a lot of people around the Devil Rays. Said, well, you know, what has he done? And, you know, even Carlos has said, look, I feel comfortable. There you see the numbers. Second to Alex, third in all of baseball. Who would have thought that? He is playing because Greg Norton, who actually is in the game today, was injured in the first week of the season for the Devil Rays. He was sent down after having a good spring, but this shows you fate, Michael. What would have been with the what ifs? Greg Norton is healthy and he plays out the first month or two, and Carlos Pena would have been stuck down in Durham, AAA. But he kept a good mindset and just realized that do my job, keep a clear mind. A lot of these guys, when they get in a comfortable setting and just they feel right, and this is not a total fluke for this guy. He was a #1 draft pick in 1998 by the Texas Rangers out of Northeastern University. Had 27 home runs for the Tigers. Another year, 24 home runs. So he showed that potential, but certainly not to this magnitude.
2-1. Popped up. Run's going to be able to score. Damon will make the catch. Tagging is Iwamura. The throw, not in time. So a sac fly for Pena. His 117th ribby. And Tampa Bay leads 1-0. That'll bring up B.J. Upton. Let's take a look at the Bacardi scouting report.
Well, where's BJ? In the local paper here, Michael, in spring training, they were trying to find a spot. This guy was drafted #1 by the Devil Rays, 2 overall in the draft, and he was a shortstop. They put him in center field, and he's found a home there. He has done an excellent job out there. 5-tool player. Well, he's got all what it takes for him to be a future superstar. And learning patience, he's getting his walks, and that's very unusual for a young hitter. Normally, young hitters like Adelman Young, who's only got 26 walks, his patience is showing off, and as a result of that, that's where you see that .302 batting average.
That sac fly by Pena ties a club record, 117 ribbies. Jorge Cantu did that in 2005. Cantu no longer with the organization.
With 65 walks, I've mentioned the patience is second on the team behind Carlos Pena, who's having a fantastic year. The 96 walks for Pena is a club record.
Twins lead the Tigers 1-0 in the first. Tigers lose that game, the Yankees clinch. Red Sox and the A's are 6-6 in the sixth at Fenway Park. That was a 5 o'clock start. Mets leading Washington 2-0 in the first. Philip Humber's first big league start for the Mets. Swing and a miss. Also today, the Angels got clubbed by the Texas Rangers, and it looks like if the Yankees make the playoffs, and obviously they will, they just need one more win, they might end up facing the Cleveland Indians. Indians have a 3-game lead in the loss column over the Angels. Now it's a 4-game lead after the Angel loss. Indians playing a doubleheader today. That one's laced into right field. It's a base hit. Bobby Abreu fields, turns, and fires in. So a 2-out single for B.J. Upton. This is the race for best records in the American League. The Indians lead the Red Sox by a game in the loss column, and now 4 in the loss column over the Angels. Now, obviously the Red Sox can't play the Yankees because you can't play the wild card if it comes out of your division. So the Indians will play the Yankees and the Red Sox will play the Angels. Even if the Red Sox finish with a better record than the Indians, the Yankees would still face the Indians. Runner goes. There's a strike. Throw to second. Not in time. Boy, did Upton get a big jump.
Wasn't even close. He's been caught 8 times. That's his 26th stolen base. Jake McGuire does a decent job. He holds the runner by timing. He'll hold it. He'll change his cadence. But there you see his big leg kick, and Posada coming from his knee, trying to make a stronger throw. But he stole that off Chien-Ming Wang.
22nd stolen base of the year. There's a ground ball to first. Minkiewicz by second base. And he will flip to Chien-Ming Wang for the final out of the inning. But the Devil Rays take the lead. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We've played 1 at the Trop. It's 1-0 Tampa Bay. Hey, let's take a look at the J&R Music and Computer World upcoming schedule. Tomorrow's the finale here. 6 o'clock BP show, 6:30 is the pregame, then 7:10 first pitch. Then on to Baltimore Friday night at 7 on My 9, Saturday at 7 on Yes, and Sunday at 1:30 the regular season finale. Here is Alex Rodriguez. Pitch is outside, and we have started the second inning. 1-0 Devil Rays. A-Rod hit his 3rd grand slam of the year last night, and the 16th of his career. And only 1 active player has more grand slams. That's the Red Sox Manny Ramirez with 20. I asked A-Rod, do you ever step back and look at your numbers and go, wow, kind of get a little giddy? And he said, after he hit the grand slam and the next time he came up and his numbers were on the board, he said he did step out. He said because the 151 ribbies really jumps out of him because he's never done that. He said, and that's really, really special. So that meant a lot to him to get over 150. 1-2. Strike 3. A-Rod down looking.
So curveball, just like he struck out Derek Jeter, it's got enough snap to it to where see Alex just committing and just not being able to pull the trigger, and that ball was up in the zone for 2 strikes. That's on an area where J.P. Howell can live all night and be successful. Almost like Alex was looking for something else. Certainly not a protect mode kind of mentality, because anytime 2 strikes when a hitter's in a protect mode, they'll foul that ball off.
One and one. And the count 2-1.
Posada's at 0 for 5. His last start was not good against the Yankees. Gave up 7 runs. He's pitching him like he's pitching around him here. A guy that just moves the ball around. He actually had a very good start after that terrible start against the Yankees on July 21st. His start 6 days ago against Anaheim. Do well.
Chop the third. Iwamura, the quick release. 2-way. Boston has moved ahead of the A's 6-5 in the 6th on a Dustin Pedroia home run. You see this play by Iwamura. I believe that I had said it was 6-6. It was 5-5. So now it's 6-5 Boston. And the Twins now lead the Tigers 4-0 heading into the bottom of the 1st inning. So if the Tigers lose or the Yankees win, either one, the Yankees have clinched their 13th straight postseason. Robinson Cano, count 1-0.
I know it doesn't matter, Michael, but you want to win the game. The feeling in the clubhouse and after, to sit there and wait for somebody else to lose. You want to win it on the field. You know it all ends up the same. You're going to make postseason, but it's nice to do it right in the game that right in front of you.
Well, with the pace the Yankees play games, I think the Twins-Tiger game will be over well before the Yankees.
What's the pitching match up there?
Santana's on the mound, so.
Yeah, I'll be 2.5 hours.
And there's a strike to Cano.
Tonight's closed captioning is brought to you by your New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut Lexus dealers.
Santana against Jair Jurgens.
You hear that cowbell in the background?
It bothers you.
Yeah, I would like to go down and make the guy eat the cowbell. I really would. I mean, that's how annoying that sound is.
Is that right under us?
Yeah. Digest it. That's what I would really like. The 2-2. Driven into center field. Upton's there, and 2 straight 1-2-3 innings by J.P. Howell. It's way out in the outfield, and we still hear it. Keep going, guys. It's great. Hey, tonight after the postgame on Yes, catch the premiere of Center Stage Larry David. Don't miss this hilarious hour with the Emmy-winning actor, writer, and producer as he shows off his unusual brand of humor and shares some rare behind-the-scenes stories from the sets of Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's the premiere of GMC Truck Presents Center Stage Larry David tonight after the postgame, only on Yes. Believe me, watch this. Stay up a little late tonight. You'll go to bed smiling. Very funny, funny hour. Greg Norton takes pitch outside, 1-0. 1-0 Tampa Bay.
That was your favorite, right? Favorite interview, Center Stage?
I wouldn't say that. It's definitely in the top 5. I think Kevin Costner or Stallone was probably the favorite. We haven't had you on Center Stage yet, right, Al?
No, I don't think that'll happen. Got to be a star.
1-1. We had your former manager on, Bobby V.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
He's a star.
We had Joe Torre, another former manager.
A lot of former managers. Jim Leland?
Haven't had him.
Mentioned Greg Norton. I said he was injured the first week. He was injured on opening day. That enabled Carlos Pena to come back up from AAA.
That one is punched into left center field. It's a base hit. Cutting over, Johnny Damon gets the ball in quickly, so a leadoff single by Greg Norton.
Greg Norton getting this fastball that was supposed to be inside. You see it ended up being middle, up out over the plate. And when Chien-Ming Wang, he's pitched much more effective this year against lefties because of that ability for him to throw inside. His weakness was against left-handers. You see opposing teams and managers put a lot of lefties in there. Norton just got enough of the barrel of the bat there. He didn't hit it too hard, but certainly far enough.
Here's Johnny Gomes.
You think of the consistency of Chien-Ming Wang, Michael. Leads the major leagues in winning percentage over the last 2 years, and the 62 starts since the beginning of last season, got 37 wins, only 13 losses, the best in all of baseball. Shows you right here, Chien-Ming Wang, one of the best pitchers in the game.
Big healthy cut by Gomes, count 1-1. And he's been consistent. Now the ERA is a little bit higher in the second half, but the record's 9-4 pre-All-Star, 9-3 post-All-Star, and that those sets don't quite make sense to me, especially the higher ERA, Al. Usually as a sinker baller, as the season goes on, he gets better because he gets more tired. So I don't know why the ERA is higher.
I'll tell you right now, on August 8th against Toronto, he gave up 8 runs in 2 2/3. I don't care if you have 193 innings or not, your ERA is going to go up a lot. That is indicative of that higher ERA in second half. That ERA for that game is, I got to get a calculator, but it's high.
It is 36.
36.
About 36, yeah.
Yeah, he had a couple rough starts back to back there. And then his next start, well, he went 6 innings, 5 runs. You get a couple bad, really bad games sprinkled in there, and I consider 2 2/3, 8 runs bad.
Boston leads the A's 8-5 in the bottom of the 6th inning. They lead the Yankees by 3 in the East. Count 2-2.
Aside from his power sinker, he's thrown a much better slider this year to offset that boring sinking fastball. And anytime Chien-Ming Wang gets in trouble, it's that sinker is tailing as opposed to down.
2-2. Could not hold up. Gomes down swinging. First strikeout for Wong.
Johnny Gomes couldn't lay off that slider. He's got that combination of a scissor effect, I call it. Sinkers running in on the righty, and then that slider going down the way. He missed with the previous slider that was for a ball, and he came back with a good one. There's certainly no fluke why he's 18-7.
Here's Deanna Navarro. His walk-off home run in the 10th inning sent the Yankees to a 7-6 loss. Been a different player in the second half. Before the All-Star break, he hit 177. Since then, 294. Slaps that the other way. And this is how the game ended last night. Jeff Karsten's on the mound.
He got in a fastball count. You see where that ball was, and Jeff Karsten's trying to come in and continue the game further than 10 innings after the Yankees came back at the 8th to tie it up after Volandia's grand slam in the 6th.
You ever give up a walk-off home run?
I don't think so. I don't think I've been in the game that long to watch it end like that. Although I was on the mound in Game 5 of the World Series with Luis Sojo's 14 chopper up the middle.
But that was in the top of the
walk-off.
ninth.
Right.
There's a difference between the pre and the post.
You know, talking to people around the organization here, you know, he's farmhand, big prospect with the Yankees, goes to the Dodgers, gets traded over for Julio Lugo, Navarro, but they're still not sure. And I think the important thing for him, and he's a hard worker, he wants to get better, but you know, when you have a young pitching staff as the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, just they continue to just not be able to produce stalwart pitchers. They do have two front-end guys in Scott Kazmir and Shields. You want a veteran guy back there that knows the league, knows scouting, really understands the pitchers. I'm not sure everybody within the organization believes that Navarro's the guy.
Well, they have to make that decision pretty soon before they get too deep into him.
They like a young catcher, Sean Riggins, who was injured. They think overall he's got the overall tools, but certainly not better.
Chop, right side, Cano right there. 2 outs as Norton moves to second.
Patented sinker from Wong. See that often when he is right, as he's been most of the year.
Pitch outside. Just missed. Count 2-0.
Another spot for the Devil Rays where they're looking to move around and improve. Josh Wilson has done a nice job at 249, but they're looking at shortstop, third base. If they do move Iwamura to second, left field's an issue.
Count 2-1. Well, they have their top prospect in the minor leagues. His name is Evan Longoria, and he's third baseman, and he can provide some power. And Iwamura, who won 3 or 4 Gold Gloves in Japan at third, check that, he won 6. I'm shortchanging him, is amenable to making the switch. Ground ball of Jeter. He has 3 Gold Gloves, and he makes the final out for the second inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We go to the 3rd inning. Tampa Bay 1 and the Yankees nothing. Well, we go to the 3rd inning. It'll be the bottom third of the Yankee order on the Coors Light scoreboard. 1-0 Tampa Bay. Shelley Duncan leads off. Shelley, one hit in his last 15 at-bats, but he's had truncated playing time at best. And against the left-hander, Jason Giambi sitting out, and so is Hideki Matsui. And if Shelley Duncan makes the postseason roster, and it looks like he's going to, this is when he's going to get his at-bats against lefties. Count 2-0.
Well, Joe even said before the game he's got to get Shelley some at bats to make it legitimate. The reference to how that playoff roster is going to look. We see half his home runs against the Devil Rays.
There's a strike.
But you're right, Michael. Young player, old player, especially a young player who hasn't played much. He's got one hit in his last 15 at bats. He hasn't played in the last 4 games. Got to get consistent playing time.
Good eye as he works a walk. Yankees first base runner. Tomorrow's starting pitchers are brought to you by Verizon Fios. Make the switch to Verizon Fios, TV, internet, and phone. A couple of youngsters, one with much more experience than the other. Phil Hughes, 4-3, 4.80 for the Yanks. Scott Kazmir, 13-9, 3.54 for the Devil Rays. The coverage begins at 6 p.m. with the BP show. 6:30 is the pregame show, and then 7:10 first pitch. Now, Scott Kazmir talked to you since you got him traded from the Mets, Al?
Why do you do this? You want me to get a little excited here?
Well, we'll save that story for tomorrow. But legend has it that he changed the music that you and John Franco were listening to, and then you marched up to Fred Wilpon's office and had him traded.
Yeah, how dare you change Motown to Eminem. Unbelievable. Signed this kid for millions of dollars, and they traded him because he changed the radio.
But that's the kind of power you had.
Oh, please.
In Met Nation.
For anybody who thinks that's true is absolutely pathetic.
Chopped right back to the mound. They'll have one play. Boy, really took his time. And they just got Minkiewicz for the first out as Duncan moves in the scoring position. Hey, stay tuned during the 6th inning for an update on today's top business headlines from your #1 news network, the Fox News Channel.
What a glaring stat, Mike. I mean, there's so many stats. I've never realized how many until I'm doing this broadcast thing. But on the road, it's a concern. I mean, there's certain numbers. 2-14 on the road against left-hand starting pitchers. Worst such mark in the major leagues by far. The Yankees are.
But then they have a better mark against lefty starting pitchers at home. It doesn't make sense.
And assuming that this all plays out, you got CC Sabathia, and that's just not a normal lefty either. I mean, he might be the Cy Young now, I guess, with Chim Ming Wong not getting a chance at 20, and Josh Beckett does have his 20th. It'd probably come down to CC Sabathia, and he's a tough left-hander.
Chop slowly to Iwamura. Almost bobbled the ball. Low throw, but Pena digs it for the second out. Duncan remains at second.
Nice play. Iwamura coming up strong and quick. He has to with Melky running, and Carlos Pena, very good first baseman, makes a nice scoop. Akinori Iwamura, as you said, Michael, he's basically telling the organization, look, if wherever you want me to play, not only said second base, if you want me to play the outfield, I don't care, whatever it takes to get this team better.
There's Johnny Damon, 5 hits yesterday, grounded out to second in the first. Pitch outside from Howell. Only Ichiro has had 6 career 5-hit games, so he's tied with Ichiro amongst active players. And the count 2-0. Ty Cobb holds the all-time record with 14 5-hit games. Here's a strike, count 2-1.
That's where that pitch right there, 2-0 fastball down the middle, 84 miles an hour, and you see Johnny take it. And a few of the Yankee hitters have taken a few balls that are pretty much middle of the plate, and that's because there's not much of a history. And guys want to see release point. They want to see movement. They see it in a scout report. They watch video, but to get a chance to get right in there and now see the sinker, see how it cuts, and what's the break on the breaking ball. Johnny has only got 2 at-bats coming into today's game against Howell. And that 2-0 fastball down the middle just tells me he's sizing him up. And typical Yankee at-bats, too, to try to get that pitch count up. He's up 41 pitches.
And the 2-2. Just stays alive. Shelley Duncan's at second. There are 2 men out. Top of the 3rd inning. Yankees down 1-0. A magic number of 1. Slapped into left center field. Upton on the run. Got a good jump, and he hauls it in for the final out of the 3rd inning. So the leadoff walk does not hurt Howell. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. 1-0 D-Rays. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. Continental Airlines, the official airline of the Yankees. And by StubHub, where fans buy and sell tickets. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning here in St. Pete on a beautiful night in Florida. And Akinori Iwamura will lead it off. Now, when the Devil Rays are in Yankee Stadium, Joe Torre had Iwamura's bat confiscated. You see the Coors Light scoreboard has the Devil Rays up 1-0. He thought there was something wrong with the end of it. Well, it turned out that there was nothing wrong with it. There's a ground ball to second base. And here's how it happened at the stadium. They thought that Iwamura's bat was too flat on the end. They get the bat checked out. Then they have to confiscate it. They x-rayed it. Nothing was wrong. Then Joe Madden says, you know what? I want to check A-Rod's bat. Nobody can hit like that with a real bat with nothing in it. And A-Rod's bat, of course, came back fine as well. But Joe Torre actually signed a bat and gave it to Iwamura yesterday. And he wrote, Iwamura-san, you use this very well, Joe Torre. And then Iwamura actually sent an autograph over to Alex Rodriguez, kind of intimating the same sort of thing. Swing and a miss by Belandia, 0-2.
Well, if you saw that photo, that image of the bat, it does look like it's just cut off, and that's unusual. Normally bats have a little rounded edge, or they cup them, and that just got a straight line as it was sawed off. As if it was sawed off.
Belandia yesterday with a grand slam. He's 32 years old, and this was his first home run in 208 at-bats. And he became the 170th player in baseball history to hit a grand slam for his first home run. And there he strikes out looking against Chien-Ming Wang.
The slider after a few sinkers. Belandia, see him opening up his hips, committing to a fastball in the mid-90s. He gets an 83-mile-an-hour slider. Played with Jorge Belandia, nice guy. Played a couple years with the Mets. It was nice the last night. His father was in attendance. He's being treated for bone cancer. For him to watch his son hit a grand slam, I'm sure it was a big moment.
There's Carlos Pena. That strikeout of Belandia, the 100th for Chien-Ming Wang this year. And the pitch. 2-0. One more game here in St. Pete. Then the Yankees will fly to Baltimore, and they will finish the regular season with 3 games against the Orioles. Being very careful with Pena in the count 3-0. Tigers are coming back against the Twins. Twins lead 4-3. Johan Santana starting for the Twins, and it was reported today in a Minnesota newspaper that the Twins will shop Johan Santana this offseason because they think they'll get more for him this offseason and waiting until the All-Star break of next year and becomes a free agent at the end of the 2008 season. And you hear numbers about he's going to want $25 million a year, and they just don't want to play in that league that much money. Carlos Pena looks like he has the Iwamura bat model there.
See, it's straight across. That's unusual. But hitters try to get weight out of the end of the bat because that's not where the barrel is, where they want to hit it. So you'll see cupped bats where they'll take, even if it's just a quarter of an ounce.
Now you kind of gave me a little bit of a weird look when I told you about the Santana thing.
I think look, they know right now. Well, Terry Ryan no longer is the general manager there, but you want to know for sure going into the season, can you sign this guy? And if you can, you lock him up, because there's no question about Santana is a premier pitcher in baseball. If not, go and trade him. Get what you can. There'll be some serious bidding wars of prospects for him. It looks like Torrey Hunter, they may be able to sign him. I think he's putting reasonable numbers. At least that's what I read.
See, but their mistake now, if they were going to give him that anyway, once he hits the free agent market, then all bets are off, because some people think that he might be more valuable on the market right now than Andrew Jones. And there's going to be a glut of center fielders. You've got Aaron Rowan, you've got Mike Cameron, you've got Andrew Jones, and you've got Torrey Hunter. The numbers we hear for Hunter, about $15 million a year. And the numbers I've read out of Minnesota is that they've offered him $45 million for 3 years, and he's looking more toward a 6-year deal. So we'll see if that gets done. He is a favorite son in Minnesota.
Yep.
The fans love him, and they're moving into a new ballpark in a couple of years. But they've got a lot of decisions to make, Al. They're going to have to sign Joe Nathan. Justin Morneau is going to end up being a free agent in a couple of years. They have Joe Mauer signed for 3 more years, but all these things come up, and maybe that's why Terry Ryan said, I've had enough.
Yeah. Well, also, too, the timing of that stadium, I don't know when it is, but maybe this is part of their plan to not sign these key free agents and be able to get some prospects if you can trade some of them. And then gear for the 2 or 3 years down the road for the new stadium. Because they're certainly not, as big a market as New York or Chicago where they can sustain a high payroll. Not at all. It's amazing what they've been able to do over the years in a small market. Shows you with player development and good scouting what it'll do.
Ground ball right side through for a base hit. I am going to hit you with a question, Al, that's just going to knock your socks off.
I don't have to answer.
Well, I want to get your opinion on it. Let's say that the Twins call the Yankees during the offseason. We'll give you Johan Santana for Joba Chamberlain.
How old is Santana?
28.
Boy, for as much as I love Joba, you don't know the long term. You know what you have in Santana. 28 for me. I mean, he's not a kid, but that's prime. 28 to about 33, 34. He's got a 4 or 5 year window, but yet what you can get from Joba and the unknown.
I don't think I'd do it.
Yeah, I think the idea of how young Joba is, and if it's all true what they say about him being a starter and his 4 pitches, he could be the Santana.
At a lot cheaper money for the next 6 years. Santana, as we said, is going to look for 20 to 25 million. Very tough call, but I mean, some team is going to have to make that decision. Do I deal my top prospects for Johan Santana, because the Twins aren't giving the guy away, that's for sure. Delman Young with a fly ball to center, and it's put away by Cabrera. Al Leiter's going to think about that even more. I can see the look on his face. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We've played 3. here at the Trop. It's 1-0 Devil Rays. Hey, it's time for the Aflac trivia question as we go to the top of the 4th inning. The Duck loves the trips down here at Tampa Bay, loves the water. Prior to last night, who was the last former Yankee to hit a walk-off home run against the Yankees? We'll find out in the bottom of the inning. Derek Jeter, deep drive to left field. Back goes Gomes, looking up. See ya. Tie game, 1-1. A 12th home run for Jeter. He extends his hitting streak to 13 straight games.
I don't know whether Derek set him up or not, but the very pitch that Hal struck him out on was a curveball. You see the first pitch right down the middle, bell tie. Derek, I don't know whether he was looking for it or not, but that pitch was very hittable, and he obviously showed it with that long home run.
So it's a 1-1 game. Yankees with their first hit and their first run. Here's Abreu, and there's a strike. The captain is finishing the season strong. That was his 70th run batted in. And Abreu with a hot shot to short. Bobbled by Wilson. Not in time. That'll be an E6. We told you about the shaky defense of the Devil Rays. Second in baseball for most errors behind the Texas Rangers, but that moves them one closer.
Wow, this is just a two-hopper right to him, and Josh Wilson doesn't get a handle on it, and Bobby Abreu out of the box. He's hustling. Puts his head down, sees the bobble. That's all it takes for a guy with pretty good speed, and Bobby Abreu's got some good speed.
Here's Alex Rodriguez. Alex yesterday hit his 53rd home run, and he now has 151 runs batted in. How's this stat, Al? Never even realized this. He's now the 5th player in Major League history to hit at least 50 home runs and have 150 RBIs in a season. Just 5 players in big league history have done this. They are. Sammy Sosa did it twice in 98 and 01. Jimmy Fox did it in 32 and 38. Hack Wilson did it in 1930. And George Herman Babe Ruth did it in 1921 and 1927. That's it. 5 players now in all the time that big league baseball has been around have been able to do that. Pretty special season for Alex Rodriguez. And he's 4 behind Joe DiMaggio for the most RBI since 1939. DiMaggio in 48 drove in 155, should I say.
You know, he just, what a great padded feeling as far as statistically in April for the unbelievable month that he had, and every player wants to feel comfortable to start. There you see Donnie, the 146 RBIs he had. But he just seemed possessed this year, Michael, just so locked in, and obviously when you don't struggle early on, that you don't get the demons in your head and start struggling and pushing. And he had some moments where he wasn't hot the entire year, but you know, not only does he have the physical talent, but so much for me, for Alex Rodriguez or anybody else, is to clear all of the distractions out of your mind and be able to just let it flow, and he did.
Runner goes, and the pitch is high. So a walk to A-Rod. You know, I was talking to him today, Al, and I said to him, in all the years that I knew him when he was with Seattle and then Texas and then his first couple of years at the Yankees, it always seemed as if he had the mindset that he wanted everybody to like him and that he went out of his way to make everybody like him. I said, this year I get the sense that you don't care if people like you. He said, well, you're accurate on the first part. He said, it's not that I don't care. He said, but I'm going to act the way I am, and I'm not going to put on any airs. And you know what? If people don't like me, then my real true friends will shine through. They'll be the ones that will be there at the end. He said, so that's the way I look at it. And I think he has played with a freer mind all season.
Whatever, it's worked for him.
You wanted people to like you when you played, right? Now I don't think you care.
No, I see what he's saying about, just be who you are. I mean, and whatever that is, don't be contrived and think you have to orchestrate. I don't think I did anything to try to make people dislike me, but I wasn't like purposely saying, well, how can I act here so that people like me? Absolutely not. Just be who you are. So reading Joe Madden, the manager of the Devil Rays, I mean, everybody adores this guy. And he's, he just says the simple thing that I tell my players and anybody who I'm around, I expect people to treat me the way I want to be treated. How simple is that?
Bobble by Iwamura, but Posada's out as the runners move up. Well, he treats people the way he wants them to treat him.
Right.
Right.
What did I say? The opposite?
Yeah. I got it, though. I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, but how simple is that, right? You're gonna go about your life, and in his case as a manager, and just do the right thing, and know that I'm going to treat you as I expect you to treat me.
Former Yankee pitcher Dave LaPointe used to always say it's really actually tougher to be a jerk than it is to be a nice guy. He said you really have to go out of your way to be a jerk. He said it really takes an effort. He said if you're just a nice person, it's not that difficult.
Well, Pointer, boy, I played with him, and he was a character
and a nice guy.
Nice guy. He was relentless with his goofy left-handed joking behavior. He was a good guy.
Infield is back. Yankees can take the lead with a ground ball by Cano. Fouled away. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. The 0-2. Grounded to second. Run's going to score. The out is made at first. Abreu scores. A-Rod moves to third, and the Yankees have a 2-1 lead. RBI for Cano is 90th of the year.
Robbie in a 2-strike count gets a breaking ball. Pretty tough pitch going down and away from the left-handed pitcher, and being able to pull that ball to the right side far enough for Volandi to go too far to his left to have any chance of going home.
Third inning, Minnesota leads Detroit 4-3. Detroit batting in the bottom of the third. Yankees leading here 2-1. Yankees win, they're in. The Tigers lose, and the Yankees are in as well. And the count 1-0. Mets are up over Washington 5-0 in the bottom of the third. Philip Humber's first big league start for the Mets. Boston leads Oakland 11-5, top of the 8th inning at Fenway Park. And Cleveland leads Seattle 4-2 in the third inning, bottom of the third. That's the first game of a doubleheader, and they're finally finishing off those games that were snowed out at the beginning of the year. Florida leads the Cubs 4-3 in the third. Cubs trying to hold on in the Central. Dontrelle Willis beat them yesterday. Exciting time in baseball. Teams trying to nail down postseason bids. There's only 8 of them. And there's 30 teams, so 22 teams go home unhappy. Count 2-1. Now 2-2 on Shelley Duncan. Duncan walked in the third inning. Duncan 1 hit in his last 15 at bats.
to try to simulate as much as you can on the side and in batting practice and in the batting cage of live hitting. It's tough. And the role that Shelley Duncan has been delegated to, that's where you got to get your work in.
Swing and a miss. And Duncan down on strikes. Looked like Navarro forgot how many outs there were. Anyway, the Yankees take the lead. 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 big error, 1 man left. It started on the first pitch of the inning. Derek Jeter, his 12th home run of the year, 70th ribby, a 13-game hitting streak, and it's a 2-1 Yankee lead. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning, and the Yankees now lead 2-1. Greg Norton will lead off against Chien-Ming Wang. So the Yankees have given Wang the lead. They've had just 1 hit, and that was a home run by Jeter. The other one, an unearned run because of an error by the shortstop, Josh Wilson. Norton singled the left center in the 2nd. You know, I saw at the ballpark earlier, Al.
Who?
George Steinbrenner.
Really?
That's right. The boss was here, and he is here. He was in one of the luxury boxes.
It's great.
Little Yankee windbreaker on, looking sharp. Watching out everything. It must be neat to stand there and watch everything you own. Sometimes I do that when I look at my plates in my kitchen. I own those.
Sit in your dining room, living room.
Norton strikes out to put out his 2-3. Hey, it's time for the Aflac trivia question answer. Let me tell you what the question is again, in case you just joined us. The walk-off home run by Diana Navarro yesterday. Prior to that, who was the last former Yankee that had a walk-off home run against the Yankees? Rickey Henderson. Did it with Oakland in 1993.
There's a guy to talk about Johnny Damon and Cano and Melky smiling and laughing and joking. Ricky, I always thought he always knew something we all didn't know because he was always laughing about something.
Now you've got to be honest, Al.
Nope.
You were on teams with Ricky.
Yes.
Did you ever in your life think that Ricky was going to end up being a coach? He's a first base coach for the Mets now.
You know what? I would say no when I was here with the Yankees in the late 80s, but when he came over to the Mets in '99, he was helpful.
Really?
Remember, he used to, matter of fact, there were some drills where he'd come over and kind of run the whole, like what he was observing as a base runner for the pitching staff. Remember, I guess that was Bobby Valentine. Yeah, he would bring Ricky over and say, look, this is what I look for, the nuance of your elbow, your foot, whatever. And he would watch. He really did. I was not surprised to say that Ricky didn't care, but, he was early on about
Ricky.
what Ricky was doing.
Right.
50% come to see Billy, the other 50% come see me, and the other 50% come see the Yankees. Is that it? Did I mess it up?
Close. Here's Diana Navarro. Pitch is low, 1-0.
I know we keep talking about the inevitable. Just hasn't happened yet. But with Chien-Ming Wang pitching tonight, and the way the postseason's set up, that's 7 days. Now here's a guy that, I mean, he's not like Moose where he needs, the same routine, but I guess a power sinker, he could use the extra couple days. He'll get a couple extra side days.
How about throwing him on Sunday in relief?
No.
You don't like that?
I thought about it before the game. I was thinking, how this would all play out. But no, because, there's always that danger of, a line drive off his shin or, God forbid he throws a slider and it comes up sore with his elbow. I wouldn't do that. He'll get a couple sides. But maybe it's a good thing. Look, he's up to
almost 197 innings.
Yes. And he's not a typical sinker ball guy, although tonight, at least on the scoreboard here, he's been throwing some 90, 91 mile-an-hour sinkers, and when Wong is right, he's in that 94, 95 range. So maybe these couple extra days might help him. See, now a guy like Glavin, who will pitch Sunday, he's still going to be pitching game 2 in their playoff series. He's a guy that really needs to touch and feel the ball and be on the mound and wants to be out there because he's not throwing overpowered. You know, Glav really has never really been a guy that needed to have those extra days rest.
So that's why you don't think Clemens not pitching since September 16th is something that'll throw him off in the playoffs if he's healthy enough to go.
I think you brought Roger Clemens over here to impart, get wins and do a good job. And, you know, he was, what did he end up, 6-6?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine there's been some disappointment to a point, but, you know, he's imparted a lot of knowledge to the younger pitchers and what he's going to do in the postseason. And it's absolutely important that he feels 100%. Joe and Gator's going to lean on him as to get ready for this game on this day, whatever that's decided on, and they're going to leave it up to Roger. And no, I don't. I think Roger will be able to get enough work on the side. Here you see Mike Mussina and Andy Pettit. My guess would be game 2, and would there be a game 4 starter the way this is set up?
I don't think so.
No,
I really don't think so.
Especially if it's the game on Wednesday, day off Thursday, game 2 Friday. Isn't it like every other day now?
It's according to the team with the best record what they pick, but
well, the Indians already said they would do that. That would give their top 2 starters 4 starts.
Right, the only team that said that they would go with the 2 days off would be the Red Sox. I don't know if they've said it publicly, but I've heard that that's the choice they've made. Runner goes, throw to second is unnecessary because it was a walk to Navarro. So 2 walks by Chien-Ming Wang. Runners on first and second with 1 out. Cleveland at this point has a half-game lead over the Red Sox for the best record, and now Guidry will go out and talk with Wang.
It's just been up so far. A lot of his pitches there. Normally when Wang is feeling good and throwing the ball well, it's down in the zone. You see these sinkers, he's spraying them up in the zone. He's pitched well here at Tropicana Stadium here, Tropicana Field. He's got the most wins outside of Yankee Stadium here at the Trop.
60 pitches. His strike-to-ball ratio is not Chien-Ming Wang-like. You know, it's almost 50-50. He's usually better than that. 31 strikes, 29 balls. Here's Josh Wilson after the trip from Guidry. Fouled away. Josh Wilson. You wonder, do you like to see him up there 0 for 31 because you're thinking he's due? Or you're thinking he's going to go 0 for 32. He's in a terrible slump. What's a pitcher think there?
Right now, I'm thinking about putting a good sinker down the zone and getting a ground ball, 6-4-3 double play. You don't know whether he's, what did you say he was, 0 for something? 0 for 30?
0 for 31.
Yeah, Chien-Ming Wang going to throw a hard sinker in the zone, or that slider up.
Melky Cabrera will run it down.
Now there's an example of a guy out of it. It's really Josh Wilson. It's more of a utility middle infielder. You know, he's done a nice job for the Devil Rays, but you know, that is an area for them to look for a starter since they traded Julio Lugo. But you see that slider's up out over the plate, and I can guarantee if he's not 0 for 31, that slider's not in good location, especially after an 0-1 fastball to get into the count.
Billy Martin was once asked, game on the line, would you rather face a guy who was 0 for 4 or 4 for 4? Because you might think the guy 4 for 4 is due to make it out. And Billy Martin said he'd rather face the guy 0 for 4.
Yeah, the guy 4 for 4, he's feeling good about himself. He already knows he's got a lot of good crooked numbers. His average is up. He's, you know, you can keep all the distraction out of your mind. That's what players try to do. They're clearest and best at that spot.
Iwamura lines one into center field. Melky Cabrera right there. Now, you could say he got out of the jam, but if you're watching the game and you're the Yankees, you don't feel real good about that. One was a hanging slide, another pitch up in the zone. 2 hard-hit balls right at Cabrera. But it's a scoreless inning. 2 runners are left. It's 2-1 Yanks.
Hi, everyone. Bob Lorenzo in our Yes Studio with the Nissan update. Let's check some scores at Fenway. Red Sox leading the A's right now. Top of the ninth, they're trying to close it out. They lead at 11-5. If they do, their magic number drops to 2 in the East. Detroit trails Minnesota 4-3. They're in a rain delay, and Cleveland up big over Seattle as the Indians in the first half of a doubleheader look for their 94th win. Michael?
Well, thank you, Bob. Here at Tropicana Field, we go to the top of the 5th inning. Yankees leading 2-1. So the Yankees right now are 15 outs away from clinching a postseason berth. You know, I don't understand something that Bob just said. He said Cleveland and Seattle's in a rain delay. Oh, Detroit. I'm saying Safeco Field has a dome. Detroit. Oh, okay. I knew Bob couldn't be wrong. I heard wrong. I was thinking the roof broke. You know, who knows? Doug Minkiewicz fouls it off. Count 1-1. I apologize, Bob. Samsung's 4 Seasons of Hope and Joe Torre have teamed up to make a difference in the community. For every Yankees home run hit at home this year, Samsung has donated $1,000 to Joe Torre's Safe at Home Foundation to help end the cycle of domestic violence. You can join the team and support Samsung's Home Run for Kids by visiting fourseasonsofhope.com or joetorre.org, because a little hope can make a big difference. In Samsung's 2007 total donation, $107,000. Count 3-1. A little too quick on that, and the count is 3-2. As a young lady with a glove, right where that foul ball was hit, and she went after that ball so poorly, she shouldn't even have the glove. She's going to get herself hurt.
Jeez, she's trying, Mike.
I know, but, you know, that's really close. Look how she's holding the glove. It's just not going to work that way. That one is chopped over the mound. Charging is Josh Wilson. And Pena can't come up with it. We'll see if Wilson gets charged with another error.
He's coming up on it, but I got to believe, well, that short hop, he had enough time. If that ball was thrown better, he would have been out. I think that might have been an error.
Well, they haven't decided yet.
Yeah, I mean, it was bang, bang for sure. It wasn't easy. You saw he had to come a pretty long way up to his left. He short hop.
Well, at this point, he's just on first. Still just 1 hit for the Yankees on the board, so they haven't decided. 1 error for the Rays. Melky bunts and bunts foul. I've never seen an official scoring decision take this long. I mean, if you expect the player to make the bang-bang play, you make the call bang-bang.
Maybe he's going to wait to see how it all plays out.
That's not the way it should be. Now they do charge an E6. So 2 errors for Wilson. And the 0-2. Just got a piece. Along with Al Leiter, I'm Michael Kay, and you're watching Yankees baseball right here on the Yes Network. We thank you for joining us on this Wednesday evening in St. Pete, Florida. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Yankees lead 2-1. Now that's Really doesn't mean anything because the Yankees led 5-0 yesterday, ended up losing the game 7-6. The 0-2 almost hit Melky in the count 1-2.
Best fastball of the night right here at 86 miles an hour. Just trying to stand up Melky. Melky trying to get out of the way. Almost turned into it. I said at the scouting report, J.P. Howell's a guy that changes speeds and relies on movement. He's done that so far.
Swing and a miss. One away.
Well, after that fastball in, you come back. Normally pitchers will come back with some kind of off-speed pitch, and that ball going down and in, and Melky has been struggling of late. Trying to get a piece of that ball. Normally that breaking ball coming down and in, if you smother it, you hit it foul. Hitters try to pull their hands in and go over the shortstop's head there.
So Melky is 0 for 2, 5 for his last 30. Check that, 5 for his last 28. There's Johnny Damon. He's 0 for 2. Now you watch Howell pitching right now, and he comes in with a 6.80 ERA. He doesn't look like a 6.80 pitcher.
You know, that's why, and he's taken the place of their #2 starter in James Shields, who's been shut down because they got a 20% cap on increased innings for young pitchers. And like the other day when Jesse Litch for the Blue Jays replaced A.J. Burnett, the Yankees thought maybe that might have been or at least I thought that it would have been a relief.
Pitch out.
Not having to face A.J. Burnett, and he pitched a good ball game. Still got to, you know, the numbers over the long haul don't lie, but you know, short increments like this. His last start, pitched well against Anaheim, 6 innings, 2 runs. Right now he's showing an aggressive behavior. This guy was a #1 draft pick by the Royals. He fantastic college pitcher at University of Texas. He's showing enough.
They just did something on a previous pitch out. Maybe you could explain it. Why would you pitch out with Doug Minkiewicz on first? The only thing I could think is that maybe they thought they had the sign for a hit and run for the Yankees because Doug Minkiewicz is not going. Why would you waste a pitch?
You know what? You just said it. That's good analysis for me. You know, maybe Joe Madden. I mean, I know, you know, there's talk about stealing signs and all that. You know, there's been coaches that have been hired just to watch the third base coach. Who's that coach, longtime coach with the White Sox? Oh, God. He was like a great guy to pick up signs.
Don't know. Base hit for Johnny Damon, and Minkiewicz will go to second. Joe Nosek?
Yes, thank you. Awesome. This Johnny Damon getting a fastball up in the zone. Front foot hitter off the front side. Front foot hitters are better low ball hitters. Johnny is. He'll get on top of a high fastball as well. See the big wide open there and gets it through the hole. Johnny Damon's feeling pretty good about himself right now. 5 hits yesterday. Getting some good approach to bats. Not afraid to go deep in the count. See some pitches.
Here's Derek Jeter, tied the game with a home run. So what were we saying about Nosek?
Well, Nosek, I know Jeff Torborg, when he was the manager of the White Sox and others, you know, he's a guy that'll sit on the bench and just watch the third base coach, and you know, through the signs, as you know, you see the third base coach go through a routine of signs, and they'll pick something up, and they'll see a routine and a pattern, and they got your signs.
Swing and a pass ball as the runners move up.
See this breaking ball. Navarro not able to get this pitch down in the dirt. Just scoots between his legs. Wasn't able to get his rear end down quick enough.
They do score that a wild pitch, not a pass ball. And also they've taken the error away and they've given Minkiewicz a single to lead off the inning. So they bring the infield in on the right side, and it's halfway with the shortstop on the left side. Fly ball deep right field. Gum and Young back. He'll make the catch. Tagging is Minkiewicz. Moving to third is Damon. It's a sac fly for Jeter, and the Yankees lead 3-1. Jeter's second ribby of the night.
Got a pitch he could drive. The ball was up in the zone, and Derek Jeter, being the consummate professional hitter, knows his role, knows what he needs to do, doesn't really ever get out of that. Pick spots like he did in his previous at bat. First pitch curveball hitting a home run. That ball was up enough for him to drive that ball to get a sac fly.
Now, changing the E6 to a base hit, what that did was it just cost J.P. Howell an earned run. Run would have scored anyway, but for Howell's accounting, it's significant. Pitches inside to Bobby Abreu. And the 1-0. There's a strike. 1-1. It's a final at Fenway, 11-6. The Red Sox beat the A's. And the Red Sox are well on their way to winning the American League East title. And the magic number for the Red Sox is 2 to clinch the AL East.
What time did that game start, Mike?
5 o'clock.
Is it doubleheader?
No. And the 1-2 outside, 2-2. Yankees have won the American League East every year since 1998. So the Red Sox, if they win this year, that would be of significance, finally breaking that stranglehold on the top spot in the division. Last time the Yankees got in as a wild card was '97. They lost to the Indians in the first round. They won the East in '96, and they won the wild card in '95 and lost to the Mariners in the first round. And in '94, they were in first place when the strike hit and canceled the end of the season in the World Series. So it's been quite a run for the Yankees. This would be their 13th straight year in the postseason, and you assume they would have gotten in '94. 3-2, and Abreu walks. Jim Hickey, the pitching coach for the Devil Rays, used to have that role with the Astros, and now he'll make that trip out to the mound. Jim Hickey had a detached retina earlier this year. He was playing golf, and I guess the ball hit a rock or a tree and ricocheted back into his eye.
His ball?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought somebody else hit it.
And he had to have surgery, and then he was wearing like orange shaded sunglasses for a while. You ever do that when you golf, Al?
No, I don't hit myself. I hit the car path and maybe hit somebody else, but that's pretty hard to ricochet off and hit yourself. He must have been a bad lie, behind a tree or something.
Well, he's okay now. His pitcher's in a little bit of trouble. Alex Rodriguez at the plate. A-Rod has struck out looking, and he walked in the 4th inning. There's a strike. Yeah, you watch Howell, Al, and, he had the tag as the best college pitcher in the nation. Just doesn't have electric stuff. It's kind of shocking. He's kind of a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Yeah. Usually, you don't get the best of awards with that sort of stuff.
I agree. He had 166 strikeouts, 135 innings in Division I, big-time ball.
A-Rod could not get out of the way, and the bases are loaded. trying to come in on A-Rod a little bit too much.
I don't know if this hit Alex's his left elbow pad. Yeah, it did. That helps. It helps a lot of reasons. It help his elbow and also gain confidence in being able to dive out over the plate. I don't know if that's not that armor that.
No, I was
like
just
Bonds,
thinking that's
right?
nowhere
just
like
a little
Bonds.
pad.
It's almost like a sleeve.
It's got a little pad in it. Some guys have like whole armament.
Here's Posada, bases loaded. And there's a line drive, base hit to right center field. Damon scores. Abreu scores. A-Rod moves to third. It's a two-run single for Jorge Posada. And the Yankees now lead 5-1.
Well, Howell's been flirting with danger this inning, and doesn't try to do a whole lot. You see with that ball up in the zone, and Jorge Posada having the year that he's having. He's using the whole field, sprays the ball left center, right center, just good hitting right there. Nice line drive, right center. Posada's basically stayed within himself all year long. It's not a shocker or surprise that those numbers are, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, the walk and the hit by pitch certainly have hurt. You see Doman warming up. Cano swings and hits one deep to right. Young back, track, wall, see ya! Three-run home run for Robinson Cano. And the Yankees second baseman has given the Yankees an 8-1 lead. He now has 93 runs batted in.
Yeah, he should have reason to smile. What a year again for Robinson Cano. After in that 340 range last year, the curveball, you see it right down the middle. Howell knew it. Blowing this game open after a key hit from Posada, just getting all of that curveball. That ball did not get down and away where Howell wanted it. Almost as if Robbie was sitting on it.
Shelley Duncan squirts one right side but foul. 19 home runs, that's a career high. 93 runs batted in, that's a career high. He has 4 ribbies tonight.
You know, just watching this game unfold, seeing J.P. Howell, he's given up one hit, holding the Yankee offense down, but you're not saying, wow, this could be a troubled night all along, because he's really just doing with a little this and turning the ball over. And even the Yankee approach, watching up to that, they're making some outs, but you could see that they were kind of laying in the weeds, seeing the pitch, seeing the movement.
Hit shortly off the glove of Iwamura, and it trickles down the left field line. Shelley Duncan's going for 2, and he's going to make it. So the Yankees have batted around, and let's see if Duncan gets a double. Probably. That was a hot shot to third. And it is a double for Duncan.
Yeah, this was hit hard right here, Michael, and tough smash in between hop for Iwamura. Tough play. Hot corner, not able to get up enough of it to get a better hop, and he was caught in between. Iwamura was.
So Joe Madden has seen enough, and he is going to call on Scott Doman. The big blow so far, the 3-run home run by Robinson Cano. The Yankees are closing in on clinching a postseason berth. Devil Rays go to the bullpen. Yankees lead 8-1. Well, Joe Madden has to make the call to the bullpen. Brought to you by McDonald's. Stop into McDonald's tonight and try the new Angus third pounder. You won't believe your mouth. Joe Madden can't believe how things just unraveled for J.P. Howell. So he's going to go to Scott Doman, who actually has some pretty good numbers. The only thing that jumps out is the strikeout to walk ratio is about 1-to-1. And that's not good. But all the other numbers are pretty good.
Yeah, 338. 27 games. He's done a good job for Devil Rays.
Well, Doug Mientkiewicz started this inning with an infield single to short. Pitch is way high. And the 1-0. Line drive, right center field. It is a base hit. Shelley Duncan will score. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Minkiewicz will stop at second with an RBI double. His second hit of the inning. And the Yankees now lead 9-1.
You know, Doug Minkiewicz coming back from his injury. Talk about what a great defensive first baseman he is. And here's a guy, 3 different occasions that Minnesota's hit over 300. He's a legitimate, solid hitter, and he's shown that down the stretch here, Michael. He's really, really shown a good bat. You know what he's done at first base, Gold Glover. He seems like he's got possessed look and postseason experience. Talk about the injuries for the Yankees. That's been a big plus for the Yankees, getting him back.
Pitch to Melky is a strike. Doug Minkiewicz, probably most famous for catching the final out of the Red Sox 2004 World Series and then keeping the ball. Ball's in the hands of the Red Sox now, I believe, but it's still technically owned by Minkiewicz. I think they might even loaned it to the Hall of Fame, but it's still Doug Minkiewicz's baseball. Fouled away. You see where the guy who bought Bonds' home run ball put it up to vote what fans want to do with it. They decided to put an asterisk on it and then give it to the Hall of Fame. So the Hall of Fame's going to take it with the asterisk on it.
Just painted an asterisk?
Yeah, on the ball.
Who bought it?
Mark Echo, the guy who makes those clothes, Echo Unlimited, and he gave people to go to his website 3 choices. They could either just donate the ball to the Hall of Fame, put an asterisk on it, and donate it to the Hall of Fame, or shoot the ball into outer space.
What did he pay for it?
He paid $737,000, I think.
Wow.
Bonds called him an idiot. Got a lot of publicity out of it. 0-1-2. Count 2-2. So the Hall of Fame said, hey, listen, we're a not-for-profit museum, and the only way that we can get these things, we can't buy them, and we appreciate Mark Echo giving us the ball. I'm sure they could display it that the asterisk isn't exactly facing front. But the people have spoken. Strike 3, Melky Cabrera 0 for 2 in the inning with 2 strikeouts. But everybody else had a great inning. 7 runs, 6 hits, no errors, 1 man left. The big blow, Melky Cabrera's 19th home run of the year. He has 93 ribbies, and the Yankees have a 9-1 lead.
Bob Lorenz back with you. Here's the final out at Fenway just a few minutes ago. Donnie Murphy lifts one over the head of Alex Cora, but Cora makes the catch, and that's your ball game as the Red Sox hang on to win it 11-6. Their magic number is down to 2. Tigers and Twins still in a rain delay, with the Twins leading that 4-3, and the Indians have tacked on a run. They lead it 9-2, top of the 6th.
Thank you, Bob. So all signs pointing to the Yankees clinching tonight. Hey, if you can't catch it live, catch it later on WB Mason Presents Yankees Encore later after each game, and again the next morning at 9. And it's only on, yes, so the Yankees have a magic number of 1. And for those that are not familiar with what a magic number is, any combination of Yankee wins or Tiger losses equaling 1, and the Yankees clinch the postseason. So the Yankees have a 9-1 lead. And the pitch to Valandia in the dirt, count 1-0. Valandia is over 2.
Don't know how long Joe's going to go with Wong. He certainly has plenty of relievers, 16 relievers. Well, I guess 15 now, because Gower was down in the pen, so he wouldn't be available tonight after 5 innings yesterday.
I think he'd be somewhat dealing with some trepidation on Joe's part after the way the bullpen performed yesterday, especially Bruni and Edouard Ramirez. Edouard Ramirez, after his performance yesterday, he went to Mariano Rivera University today, and Mariano was working with him on keeping his elbow up when he's delivering. It was pretty intense, and they were working in the outfield, so maybe that'll pay off for Edward Ramirez. Here it is. Al, what's he trying to do there?
Stay closed. He flies open a little bit. Edward was talking about how, you know, anytime you get excited, you want to fly open, and you see Mariano close the front side. Well, this is great. Mariano's willing to do it and wants to do it. And anybody and everybody should listen. He's had as consistent a delivery, I think, Michael, almost robotic-like his whole career. And that's what you try to get to. The consistent delivery is going to enable a pitcher to have a consistent release point. And that's why Brian Bruni or anybody who sprays balls and doesn't throw where they want is that you're not getting the consistent release point. And for Mariano to spend the time and do that, just great teammate, just awesome to have around.
Hey, Luis Vizcaino pretty much admits that Mariano turned his season around. And Vizcaino became a different pitcher after Mariano got permission from Ron Guidry. Yeah, do whatever you want to do.
Oh, yeah, Gator wouldn't discourage that in the least bit. I think of a pitching staff. You're all in the same family. If everybody can help one another, do it.
Volandia swings and misses. Now, you say that, Al, but let me point out one thing. There are a lot of pitching coaches that have huge egos that would have a problem with one of their players dealing with one of the pitchers. And Guidry doesn't have an ego. And as you said, everybody's up for debate. If you think you could help somebody more, step up and say why. He's been very comfortable allowing Dave Island to be around, working with the young pitchers. A lot of pitching coaches wouldn't do that. You have to give him some credit.
Definitely. And Ron Guidry, he's here to help. He wants to do as best he can to help all these pitchers be Cy Young Award candidates and winners and future big league stars. I don't think it's so much less of ego than insecurity, really, Mike.
Right.
You know, I think there's more of an insecure nature for a coach to feel, you know, geez, what's Mariano saying over there? No, pull in. Hey, what'd you tell him? What are you working on? What are we talking about here? But I know what you're saying, but I think most of the time those pitching coaches or coaches as a whole, it's more of an insecure feeling.
Pena hits one deep to left center field. That could go. See ya. A long home run the other way for Carlos Pena as his magical season continues. His 43rd home run of the year. Yankee lead is now 9-2.
Well, this place is homer friendly, hitter friendly, whatever you want to call it. But that home run there, Michael, if there is a spot in this ballpark, this is left center field. He stays on a sinker. You saw the ball was down in a decent height. I wouldn't say it was knee high, but this area out here, this is legitimate home run. That is a bomb.
And that breaks the Rays single season RBI record with 118. He had been tied with Jorge Cantu, who drove in 117 in 2005. So now Pena stands alone, a guy who went to spring training as a non-roster invite player. Upton fouls it away. Now, you mentioned earlier, Al, how Pena feels comfortable here, that this was the right fit. So now he's got a decision to make. Scott Boras is his agent, and the numbers that we heard yesterday that Boras expects for Pena is $11 million a year. He's not getting $11 million a year from the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. They just don't have that kind of money to spend on one player. So then the question is, do I take the money, and is he going to get that money somewhere else and not feel as comfortable? Or if I found a home here, I'll take a little less and I'll continue to put up big numbers.
You know what? It all depends on that little less, Michael. You know, here's a guy, I think if it was in a position in his career where he's made, you know, considerable salaries and he feels comfortable that way, he lives in Orlando nearby. He's obviously happy here. He's able to go home often up the road there on I-4. But look, this is a career year, and if he's going to be offered some big dollars elsewhere, he's got to, you know, also do what's right for him and his family.
You wonder, though, is there a team out there that's willing to completely bank their faith on 1 year? Now, as you've been saying, he's had decent years with the Tigers, but the past 2 seasons, he couldn't get out of the minor leagues with the Yankees or the Red Sox. So was this an aberration year, or has he finally turned the corner at the age of 28? That's what some team has to decide.
But first of all, it's last year, Michael. 2005, he had 18 home runs. He was injured, 235 off year. When he did have the 27 home runs and 82 RBIs in 2004, he batted 241. So yes, this is, you could view it as an aberration.
Strike 3, up and down looking.
In 06, he was with Columbus and then went to Pawtucket, finished up with the Red Sox. And then they outrighted him. He became a minor league free agent, as you said. He came to spring training with the Devil Rays, had a good spring, but Greg Norton, they picked him over Pena. Pena was going to Durham, and Norton gets hurt in the opening day, and here he is, third most home runs in major leagues.
Alex Rodriguez first, Prince Fielder is second. Delman Young with a ground ball through the left side for a base hit. 2-out single for Delman Young.
I wouldn't say you bank your team around him, but I'm sure there's some higher revenue team that would find him fit in nicely. American League team, do a little DH, first base.
11 million is a lot of money. I mean, Scott might be asking for that. Who knows what he's going to get? But do you give a guy $11 million off one good year? And he's not signing a one-year deal for 11. He probably wants 3 or 4 or 5, but we'll see. It'll be a lot of interesting things this offseason. There's Greg Norton. Foul back. But we're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Yankees leading 9-2. If they win, they are in. And if they are in, we are in as well. The Yes Network will be there for every single post game in the postseason and every pregame in the postseason. So it's the same thing, except we're not broadcasting the game. We have an hour pregame before the game, and then immediately after the final out, you can turn on Yes, and we have our regular postgame extended, really. Everybody's going to be involved. I'll be on the field. Bob Lorenz will be back in the studio. Kim Jones will be working the clubhouse. All of our analysts will be involved as well. It's going to be comprehensive. It's going to be great. It's going to be on Yes. So because we're not broadcasting the game does not mean that we will not be a part of it. Pre and post game on Yes. So put that in your mental Rolodex. Ground ball up the middle and through for base hit under the glove of Robinson Cano. Delman Young will go to third. It's a single for Norton, who is 2 for 3. And the Yankees are facing runners on first and third with 2 outs with Johnny Gomes coming up.
Norton getting his second hit of the night. Fastball up and away. Pretty good hitting, able to get the barrel of the bat through the zone long enough to get it past Robinson Cano and up the middle. You see where Robbie was playing, slight pull. Based on Greg Norton being a guy that I'm sure they have spray charts showing that he's pull on the ground.
81 pitches for Wong, 45 strikes. Has not been a great game for him. He's allowed 7 hits and 4 2/3, but the Yankees lead 9-2, and that's the most important numbers. But Gomes is dangerous. He can make it 9-5 in an eye blink. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Grounder, third. Backhanded by A-Rod, but it's a foul ball.
Yeah, look at what the Devil Rays have done the last few years, but watching Johnny Gomes, how he's just kind of fallen off as far as the depth chart here with the Devil Rays. With a couple of years ago in 05, he was top 5 and top 3 in Rookie of the Year. 21 home runs. Last year, 20 home runs. Solid player.
There's a strike on the outside corner, and the count 0-2. Along with Al Leiter, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on the Yes Network. Bottom of the 5th inning. Yankees lead the Rays 9-2. We thank you for joining us on this Wednesday evening. The Yankees are 16 outs away from clinching a postseason berth. You know what? 13 outs away. 12 outs away as Johnny Gomes is down looking. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. The 1 run off the bat of Carlos Pena. 43rd home run, his 118th ribby, a team record. We go to the 6th, 9-2 Yanks. Hey, this year, when you're out of town and out of the Yankees broadcast area, you can still watch Yankees baseball. How do you do it? Well, you log on to MLB.tv, and you can watch the game on your computer via the internet live. For more details, visit Yankees.com, where baseball is always on, except when blackout restrictions apply. You should get one of those
that is
with
cool.
you, and have your son face you. How great would that be?
That would be great. But have you ever swung a bat?
Yeah, I
No,
swung a
batting
bat.
No, this is neat stuff. That is great. They got, and it's timing perfect.
Dare you ask me that?
Well, where have you swung a bat?
You want dates? Pitch is high. That would be neat, though.
It is. The timing of that. A lot of those pitching machines, they're.
Jeff Ridgway in relief. There's a strike. It'll be Damon, Jeter, and Abreu against Ridgway. 2 lefties in the bullpen for the Devil Rays. And the count 2-2. See,
They give those out.
they give them out. They promote that sound. They had cowbell night here at Tropicana Field. Maybe more people don't come because they can't stand the sound of the cowbell.
But they don't keep giving them. There was a giveaway, right?
That was a giveaway day.
Well, those people came back.
That's how I picture the sound, the constant sound in Dante's Inferno. That cowbells. Pitch is high. Hey, you know that home run? Oh, wow, the Nationals came back. The Mets had a big lead, and the Nationals come back to lead 7-6. The Mets are really staggering toward the finish line. Off the glove of Ridgway, and Damon is going to beat it out. Anyway, the home run by Pena is significant because Yankee starters had gone 110 consecutive innings without allowing a home run. The last one they allowed was on September 5th against Seattle. That's pretty amazing. And that's the longest single season streak of its kind for any American League team in the designated hitter era. And the Phillies leading the Braves 5-2, bottom of the 7th. So they might be able to close to within 1. So since 1973, the only other team to go 17 games without allowing a home run by a starting pitcher was the 1980 Yankees. And they did that the last 17 games of that year. So the home run by Pena against Chen-Ming Wang breaks that streak. Jeter takes a strike. They're going to give Damon a base hit on the ball off the glove of Ridgway. (9-2) Yankees lead. Derek has 2 RBIs tonight. He extended his hitting streak to 13 straight with a home run in the 4th. That tied the game at 1. And then in the Yankees' 7-run 5th inning, he had a sac fly for his second rib. He now has 71 RBIs on the year. And he's hitting .320. And the 3-1. Grounded toward third. Tough hop under the glove of Iwamura, and it trickles into foul territory. Now that should be an error. We'll see how they score that. And the Devil Rays have played very, very sloppy defense tonight.
Well, having the second most errors in the American League, that's not going to help your pitching staff. And I got to believe this is an error. He just came up on the side. You see it hit off the heel of his glove.
They just gave Derek Jeter a hit. What a compassionate official scorer.
Yeah, a good Major League third baseman makes that play.
Well, if you're the pitcher, I mean, forget about Iwamura not getting an error, but if you're the pitcher, that's got to chap you just a bit.
Well, you got a little chopper and two hopper to your third baseman, and they counted a hit.
There's Bobby Abreu. He needs 2 more ribbies to get to 100, so a lot of milestones the players are looking to reach. There's a ground ball through the right side for a base hit. Johnny Damon will round third. He's going to score. It's 99 ribbies for Bobby Abreu, and the Yankees lead 10-2.
Bobby Abreu, you see how far off Jeff Ridgway threw that ball and got into sweet spot down and in. But watch this throw from Delman Young. All series long, he's got a fantastic arm, and he airmails it to the backstop. With this AstroTurf, take advantage of a hop off the turf. It gets there quickly, and you get your catcher or the cutoff man a chance to field it. You need to show it off, but give him a chance to catch it.
Well, Jim Hickey goes out and talks with Jeff Ridgway. One more RBI for Abreu, and after a horrendous first 2 months of the season, he's going to have 100 RBIs.
Shows you the balance now with the Yankee lineup. Earlier in the year, when they weren't all clicking on all cylinders, when Bobby Abreu hit, the Yankees won. When he didn't, they lost. Now the balance throughout, just everybody's really picked each other up.
Pitch outside, and the count 2-0.
Earlier in the year, it was pretty much the offense was A-Rod, Jeter, and Posada. And now the balance and depth are awfully tough for any pitcher to face this lineup. They just wear you down.
Count 3-0. Yankees up 10-2. Ridgway not coming near the plate for Alex Rodriguez. But not much of a break as Jorge Posada's on deck. A strike. Jeter's at second and Abreu at first. Fouled away. Alex took a big healthy cut. That looked like he might have been flexing his back. Grabbed it, then twists. But he is staying in there. 3-2. Popped up. Almost hits the catwalk. But the catch is made by Josh Wilson for the first out of the 6th inning. That came very close to hitting that first catwalk.
See him frustrated after missing that fastball down the middle, up just enough. He got underneath it. Time of pop up, as Michael said, that nearly hit the roof. He just missed it. Taking healthy cuts there. Not getting cheated.
Here's Posada, big 2-run single in the 5th inning. Yankees scored 7 runs in the 5th inning. The Yankees are 4 for 11 with runners in scoring position, accounting for 9 ribbies. There have been so many runs scored in the game, the scoreboard in center field is completely blitzed out. Juan Salas is warming in the bullpen for the Rays. They've lost all the Yankee runs on the scoreboard. It has the Devil Rays leading 2-1. Somebody actually tapped into the computer system, maybe. A little hacker. So another 3-0 count as Ridgway struggling here. There's a strike. The 3-1 pitch. Another base hit for Posada. Jeter rounds third. He's coming home. The throw is not in time. Good throw by Young. But Jeter got a great jump off of second. He scores. And the Yankees are pouring it on. They lead 11-2. Third ribby for Posada. He has 89 on the year.
Good jump, as you say, Michael, and Larry Bower waving him all the way, and Delvin Young has a good arm, but he's shown he's been high the whole time. This was a good throw, a little bit up the line, but with Derek Jeter's aggressive base running and Bower waving him in, why not? You see Brian Gorman calling him safe. Larry always likes to get down that line, help him out.
Well, strange move now by Joe Madden with the lefty Ridgway on and Cano coming up. He takes the ball from the lefty. He's going to call on the righty Juan Salas. So Ridgway does not do that well. Hurt by some shoddy fielding. One by him and one by Iwamura. Well, they finally got the scoreboard right. It's 11-2 Yanks. Come on back. Tomorrow night on Yes, the Yankees close out their series with the Devil Rays before heading to Baltimore to take on the O's. Our complete coverage starts at 6 with batting practice today, followed by the Tri-State Ford pregame. It's the Yankees against the Devil Rays. It's tomorrow night at 6, and it's only on Yes. Yankees are concerned with this game right here. They lead 11-2, and if they hold on, they will clinch at least the wild card, but they'll clinch getting into the postseason for the 13th straight year. Here's Robinson Cano. He's driven in 4 already. And now he's driven in 5. A base hit to center field. Scoring is Abreu, and the Yankees lead 12-2. 94th ribby for Robinson Cano. And you think he wants to get to 100?
Yeah, I think so. That would be a nice number for him. Certainly charging, isn't he?
5 tonight.
5 RBIs. It's at 6 more.
He needs 6 more in 4 games. Now Joe will start resting players, but he is very aware of milestones. Here's Shelley Duncan. He had a double off the glove of Iwamura in the 5th inning. You know what I've seen of Iwamura, and we keep hearing that he's won 6 gold gloves in Japan. I'm wondering if that's real gold, because he does not play at this level like a gold glove third baseman. Popped up behind the plate. Navarro near the screen, puts it away for the final out. Check that, the second out of the inning. A little ahead of myself. So there are 2 down, and that'll bring up Doug Minkiewicz.
So you were saying more like a gold-plated kind of gold glove?
Well, when you watch him play enough at third base, he's certainly not doing a Brooks Robinson imitation.
Well, let's hope. You know what? Maybe he's just having a rough go right now. He's 7 errors. Tonight he's got how many? 2?
No, hasn't. They didn't give him either.
Oh, they didn't give him either, yeah. Josh Wilson got the error, and that was changed as well, wasn't it?
One of them was changed. He has another base hit for Dougman Cavich. No hole Posada right there. They will not test Delman Young with Posada. And Dougman Cavich is 3 for 4.
Well, right now, you just get a sense that the Yankees are, I don't want to say batting practice, but they're just hitting at will. They're hitting the ball hard. Juan Salas, who was actually spent 6 years in the minor leagues as a third baseman for the Devil Rays and wasn't producing a whole lot. And they said, hey, you got a good arm. Why don't you pitch? And he was converted.
Well, the Yankees bat around for the second time tonight. You see what Melky's done with the bases loaded in his career. He is 0 for 3 tonight. He was 0 for 2 in the 5th inning. Struck out twice. There's a strike.
And Melky definitely would like to climb aboard this hit parade now. The Yankees up 13 hits. Not even through the 6th inning. You talk about momentum, teams going into the postseason. Momentum team-wise, you know, there's been enough historical data showing that teams don't necessarily have to be winning to get to the World Series, and it's been proven. But certainly players want to feel good about their swing and good about what they're doing going into the postseason. And whether it's a pitcher who's been struggling, he gets a scoreless inning or two at the end, or a hitter who's got, you know, hit here or there, but he's been dealing with, you know, a bad streak. You want to feel clear-minded going into the postseason.
Count 2-1. Yankees up 12-2. Disappointing loss last night. They led 5-0 at one point. They lost 7-6 on Navarro's walk-off home run in the bottom of the 10th. The 2-1. 2-2. Yankees tonight are 7 for 15 with runners in scoring position, accounting for 11 RBIs. And the pitch. Popped up foul and out of play. Chien-Ming Wang sitting on the bench for a long time, but he'll take it as the Yankees have scored 12 runs over 3 innings, 2 in the 4th, 7 in the 5th, and 3 here in the 6th. So he's heading toward his 19th win of the year, second straight season with 19 wins. 2-2. Ground it to Pena, and he will flip to Salas covering, and that will do it here in the 6th. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors, and the bases are left loaded. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning, 12-2 Yanks. Here's a word from our friends at Fox News Channel. Well, fans, the 2008 season is the final season in the most historic sports venue in the world, Yankee Stadium. The Yankees are now accepting deposits for 2008 season ticket plans. Log on to Yankees.com for more information and to make sure that you don't miss out on the final season in Yankee Stadium. A lot of Yankee fans here at Tropicana Field, and they are hoping to see the Yankees clinch a postseason berth. And right now it looks pretty good, Al. They're leading 12-2.
Well, his shirt says they don't play for the wild card, but Yankees don't care about that now.
Well, we gave you the stats over the past couple of days. The wild card simply is not at any disadvantage, and there's very little difference between winning a wild card and winning a division, because, okay, you lose 1 game at home. That's pretty much it. And a lot of wild card teams have gone on to the World Series. 3 of them have gone on to win it. It's not something that presents much of an impediment. Navarro takes a pitch low.
Although that game 5, Michael, I think in a especially when a couple years ago, I guess, there's all a day off after the game 4 for all
this time.
Yeah, that was pretty tough on teams going back to especially with the Yankees. That 05 series when they went back to Anaheim.
Not that many of those series go five games, though.
Yeah.
Phillies lead the Braves 5-2. That's in the top of the 8th. Along with Al Leiter, I'm Michael Kay, and you're watching Yankees baseball here on the Yes Network. We thank you for joining us on this Wednesday evening. If you just tuned in, you've missed a lot. The Yankees lead 12-2. Robinson Cano with 5 RBIs, now 94 on the season. 3-0 to Navarro. How tough is it to sit on the bench that long? And is there any way to counteract getting cold?
Yes. Well, for one, you could put heat on it, and Wong puts a towel around him. I always used to wear a jacket, even though here it's air conditioned and cool. You still get hot enough. But you want to get out to the mound. I always said, like a long inning, get out there quickly and be able to get a couple extra pitches. And nowadays, well, a couple years ago, they really tried to clamp down on the time between the innings and had the pitching coaches running out. I think they've relaxed a little bit on that. But anytime you have a long inning, get out there. You tell your catcher, hey, I'm going to run out there and let's try to get more than the 8 pitches.
(3-2). Now this is strange, but there's a lot of the new ballparks out that right off the dugout you've got a batting cage. Is there any way that a pitcher would go in there and throw some during the inning? And you see Luis Vizcaíno warning.
Yeah, the guys would go down there, but they wouldn't throw to somebody. There's usually a bucket of balls, and you could just throw into a net.
Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I ever did that or I saw guys doing it. Yeah, I would see that. Guys go down there and throw a little bit.
Navarro pops it up. A-Rod makes the play.
Reminds me of when I went to Japan for the Japan series. They warm up down there. They don't have bullpens on the side, and they warm up underneath, and you don't know who's coming out, and all of a sudden the reliever comes running out of the tunnel. It was odd. The warm-ups are all done underneath.
I like that. Almost adds a chess match aspect to it.
Who's coming out?
Yeah.
Guess you got to get. Yeah.
I'm told they have TV cameras in there like they used to have in Toronto, so people do know. I would think that in the National League, there's less of a chance of a pitcher to get that stiff because at least you have to bat. If you bat around, at least you're going to be up there for a little bit, swinging the bat. And the American League just sitting there. Wilson chops one to A-Rod.
And you know what, Michael, it's really conditioning. Over the course of the year, your arm is used to, as a starter, getting up and down, and you're going to have some innings where you only have 5 or 6 minutes, and others like that last inning.
How long an inning would be a concern? If you're sitting at 30 minutes?
I think it all depends on the pitcher, and I don't know. I always joke with you, I'll take 10 runs every inning, but of course that becomes an issue too.
Joel Guzman is going to pinch hit for Akinori Iwamura. In the bottom of the 6th inning. And a quick inning for Chin-Ming Wang. Tough hop for Jeter. He stays with it. And a 1-2-3 inning for Chin-Ming Wang and the Yankees. So the Yankees are now 9 outs away from clinching. We go to the 7th inning. It's 12-2 Bombers. Hey, Monday night on Yes, relive the game that created a legend with the premiere of Yankees classic Reggie Jackson's 3-home run October night. Yes takes you back to Game 6 of the 1977 World Series when Reggie Jackson earned the title Mr. October, and the Yankees went on to win their 21st title. It's an all-new Yankees classic Monday night at 7 p.m. only on Yes. That should be fun. We go to the 7th inning. Johnny Damon leads off, and there's a strike. 12-2 Yankees. Joel Guzman pinch hit for Iwamura. He stays in the game at 3rd. And there's a new center fielder, Justin Ruggiano, taking over for B.J. Upton. There's Justin. A lot of things could happen tonight of significance in baseball. Obviously, the Yankees could clinch a postseason berth. And in San Francisco, it looks, Al, as if this is going to be the last game that Barry Bonds will play as a Giant in San Francisco. It's their final home game. I don't know if you just saw the story in USA Today. He seems kind of surprised and disappointed that he wants to play next year and they don't want him back. Any thoughts on that?
Surprised, or that he's playing?
Surprised.
No, they haven't won, like you said. With they could be last place. Are they last place?
They are, yes, in last place by a lot.
Look, I think they stuck with him, you know, obviously for the home run record and, you know, local favorite and all that, but that's been enough baggage for them to deal what they had to deal with for years now. And no, I don't think they're going to say good riddance, but I think it, you know, time's right. And he's not a spring chicken anymore. I imagine he wants to get another year or so. What'd you say, 3,000 hits?
He needs 3,000 hits. I think he's about 70 away. And that's important to him. Now, if he comes back, though, he's probably going to have to play in the American League.
Yeah, I think the American League absolutely fits. I don't know whether the Angels will take him or.
They said everybody's saying that Moreno doesn't want to do that.
Moreno. How about the A's?
The two teams that everybody says is the most likely would be Texas or Seattle.
Texas.
Hicks likes him. Hit a lot of home runs in that ballpark. Hey, Texas took a chance on Sammy Sosa.
No, I'm just thinking for Barry to want to go there.
Right, he wants to stay on the West Coast, but I don't think that that's going to be an option because the A's have a much cheaper option, and Jack Cust is a DH. Derek Jeter's having a big night. He pounds another hit. This one goes past Delman Young, and Derek's going to pick up his third hit of the night. He's 3 for 4 with a sac fly.
Well, it took a night like tonight for most of these Yankee hitters to get hot and feel good about what they're doing, and Derek is back to his patented swing of pulling his hands inside, going to right field, and getting some line drive swings out of it. He's done that all night tonight. Well, it was actually his first pitch. He struck out in his first at bat against the starter, J.P. Howell. Sat on a first pitch curveball, hit a home run to left field, and has really been swinging the bat well the last couple nights.
Jabba Chamberlain warming for the Yankees.
Well, he doesn't warm up just to warm up, so.
That's one of the rules. If he's going to warm up, he's coming in.
Which is huge for relievers. To not have to get up and sit down. Dry runs and then get in the game 2 or 3 innings later. Oh, timeout. He just threw the ball away.
And Abreu flinched. He didn't know the ball was on the ground. He thought it was in the air. And he put his hand up to his head.
Never liked throwing during the game, and just for that very reason, that's just becoming obsolete. The relievers throwing in foul territory on the field. Several years ago, the bullpens, pretty much all of them used to be down the line.
Chop to first. Pena backs up. Will flip to Salas. There are 2 outs as Jeter moves to third. Here's A-Rod. A-Rod today struck out looking, walked, was hit by a pitch, scored a run, and popped to short.
Couple healthy cuts last at bat. Just missed a high fastball.
A-Rod's home run yesterday hit the catwalk. It hit the second catwalk. Now, if it had hit the one before it and dropped down on the field, it would not have been a home run. It hits the second one, it is. And he said, if it hit the other one, that would have been a ball in play. He said, I would have walked on to Miami. He said that's how ticked off I would have been.
No, the second one being...
Second one from the top. But he hit the third one from the top. Phillies ended up winning that game 5-2, putting pressure on the Mets. We'll continue to monitor the Mets score against the Nationals. The one closest to the center.
So this is the second one. That's the third one.
Right.
Okay.
So it hit the second one from the end, which would be the third one that you just said. And then actually dropped down on the field, but that is considered a home run. Some wacky ground rules here in Tropicana Field. The first indoor stadium was the Astrodome, and the Yankees played an exhibition game there. And the Mets are trailing the Nationals 7-6, top of the 7th, so their lead could go to 1. Mickey Mantle in the first exhibition game hit the roof. And they said, oh my goodness, we didn't build this high enough, because they'd never played ball in an indoor stadium. But it was Mickey Mantle. That's why he hit the roof. But it was
wow, that's
never a problem again.
No, right? Was that the only time ever?
I'm not sure it was the only time, but it never became a habitual problem. The 2-2, swing and a miss, and A-Rod is down on strike. So the Yankees do not score here in the 7th. No runs, a hit, no errors, and one man left. Java Chamberlain is heating it up. It's time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees lead 12-2.
Hi, everyone. Bob Lorenz in our studio with the Tri-State Ford update. What is going on with the Mets? Up 4-0 at one point tonight against the Nationals, but Washington rallies. And in the top of the 5th, Willie Mopena with a double that scores 2 and puts the Nationals on top 7-6. He got hung out to dry, but the damage was done. So the Mets losing right now. Meantime, the Phillies beat the Braves 5-2. So the Phillies right now within a game and a half of the Mets in the East. If the Mets lose, that'll just be a game separation. Michael?
Bob, it's just an amazing thing that's happening to the Mets. Al, you know, you spent a lot of your career there. This is just one of the great collapses of all time, and they can't seem to right themselves.
Could be. You're right, Michael. And that, I mean, now the way that we're talking about the wild card and the American League wild card is going to be wrapped up here tonight, but they better watch out. The NL East there. If the Phillies now one game back, they got San Diego at 86 wins, Mets at 87. There you see Java Chamberlain's number just off the charts. 21 2/3 innings, 10 hits, fantastic, 31 strikeouts.
And he's got a whip under 1, 10 hits, 6 walks.
That all translates into total domination right there, folks. San Diego's 86, 85 wins, so that's going to be interesting those last couple
If
days.
they drop out of first place, they have a chance to not make the playoffs.
Not make the playoffs.
Right. They have a chance, which would be just unprecedented. No team is led by 7 games with 17 left to play and blown it. And they would be the first. If, well, they have the Marlins coming in. And that seemed like it got them healthy over the weekend. We'll see. Well, Java Chamberlain comes on. And he will face Valandia, Pena, and Ruggiano.
Wong did a pretty good job tonight, Michael. 7 hits. It wasn't his patented performance of low pitch counts. He did have 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, a little unusual for Chimney Road.
Blew it right by him. 0-1 now. If the Yankees clinch tonight, and if they hold on to the 12-2 lead, they will. We have the whole clubhouse covered. They're going to have a celebration. It's going to be loud. It's going to be raucous. When you have so many kids up, that's usually what happens. Kim Jones will have a camera in the clubhouse. We'll cover it live, so you'll definitely want to stay tuned for that. Yankee fans could revel in one of the great comebacks this team has had. Remember, 21-29 on May 29th, and seemingly out of any chance to make the playoffs. And they've been the best team record-wise in the major league since the All-Star break. So a good job by Joe Torre and his team. So if there is a celebration, we'll be covering it. And as I mentioned earlier, and I will continue to mention right through Sunday, if the Yankees do make the postseason, and it certainly looks as if that's going to happen, we will cover pre and post game on all the playoff games. An hour pregame show, and then as long as it takes after the final pitch of each game, you turn it on to Yes, we'll be there. Complete coverage. Pitch is high, 2-2. Yankees have made 505 pitching changes this season. That's an American League record for a single season. Strike 3, Valandia down looking, and out. With all the injuries to their staff early, a lot of those were out of necessity. They had to.
That's right. And 250 starts by rookies, and really to think about what Joe Torre and this coaching staff and the whole mindset of the team, what they didn't do was panic or start pointing the finger, start feeling the pressure. And that's one thing that I'm so impressed with Joe, just his calm disposition and demeanor really settles in. And look, we believe in ourselves, we're a good team, stay the course. And that's exactly what they did. It didn't hurt that they have a stable roster of all-stars and future Hall of Famers, but you could easily implode in moments like that in seasons where you start struggling and people start pointing the finger and you start reading things and hearing stuff.
Pena hits one deep to center field. Melky back on the track at the wall. He makes the play, taking an extra base hit away from Pena.
Wow. What a play. Not only does he have a fantastic arm, 16 outfield assists. Great jump. You see where he had to spin around a little bit, turn to his left, turn to his right. Gets back to the wall. All instinctive play. Knowing that he's got the crash into the wall after he catches it. What a great catch, Melky Cabrera.
Here's Justin Ruggiano. His first at bat. And that one is foul back. Still looking for his first major league hit. He's 0 for 3. Off speed pitch and the count 1-1. What the Yankees going to try to do before the playoffs begin is get Jabba Chamberlain in back-to-back games to see if he can handle that. So slowly but surely building him up where he can pitch in the postseason every day if they need him. That one is punched into right field, and that's going to be Ruggiano's first major league hit. So he's going to want that baseball. A single to right field of Jabba Chamberlain. And they do call for the ball. And that's going to go on the trophy case. Do you have any special baseballs that you kept? Milestone balls?
No hit ball.
You didn't get your base hit from the World Series?
Yeah, no, I have them. I just haven't really been able to display them or put them out. I have a few balls.
No room in the shack?
I'm trying to think of like my 3,000 strikeout or my, I have a few.
There's Delman Young. Foul back. 98 miles an hour with the fastball there for Jabba. Cleveland leads Seattle 12-4 in the 8th inning. First game of the doubleheader. And it's becoming increasingly clear that the Yankees are going to end up facing the Indians in the first round of the playoffs, with the Red Sox facing the Angels. Nothing is set in stone yet, but that's certainly where the standings are leaning. The 0-2. That one gets past Posada. Moving to second is Ruggiano. Wild pitch.
Aside from the Yankees getting their roster in order and their players set, it's also good to know who you're facing.
Yep.
The whole idea of scouting and, getting the mindset on, which team, as opposed to preparing. And scouting is at such an nth degree down. But for not only for the coaching staff, but if you're one of the starters to line up, you don't want to have to go over the Angel lineup, how you're going to approach it, or the Indians.
Chop to Jeter, gets a nice hop, the long throw, and they get the hustling Delman Young for the final out of the 7th inning. Another scoreless inning for Jabba Chamberlain. 4 to Devil Rays, no runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. Great play by Melky Cabrera, taking an extra base hit away from Carlos Pena. 12-2, Yankees lead. Hey fans, tonight throughout the Yankees season on Yes, we're allowing you to vote along with the two of us here in the booth for the Chevrolet Player of the Game, and now you can enter for a chance to win World Series tickets as well. Text your vote to 58772, and for more information, visit ChevyOffers.com. You can vote right up until the end of the game. Vote now. Make your voice heard. Tonight's candidates are Robinson Cano, Derek Jeter, Jorge Posada, and Chin-Ming Wang. Standard text messaging rates apply. Jay Watasic comes on, and he will face Jorge Posada. Posada swings at the first pitch and pops it up behind the plate and out of play. Posada familiar with Watasic, who used to be a Yankee. Jabba Chamberlain getting some counsel from Roger Clemens.
Good counsel.
Counsel, where the counsel is 23 years older than the student. Watasic missed 38 games with a right elbow strain. And he's had 4 scoreless outings since being reinstated from the DL on September 1st. Actually opened the season with Oakland. Played for the A's, the Royals, the Padres, the Yankees, the Giants, and the Rockies. I remember when I first started as a broadcaster, Al, my first year, and you see Chris Britton warming. Something's up with Posada, and Gene Monahan comes out.
Because after the first pitch, he showed some sort of grimace, and Larry Bowa was yelling down and immediately alerting Gene Monahan. Of course, Posada's going to tell him he's fine.
Let's see if we can catch anything. Maybe something with his neck, but he stays in there. He convinced them that he's okay. And he will dunk a single in front of Gomes, so he is okay. He's 3 for 5. And again, he grabs the neck. What a season for Posada. 3 for 5. And he has 3 more ribbies tonight. He has 89 on the season. Here's Cano. He has 5 RBIs tonight. 94 on the season. Anyway, I saw Jabba talking with Clemens, and it reminded me that when I first started in broadcasting the first year, Mel Allen came up to me and said, "Do you mind if I give you some pointers? I mean, I don't want to intrude." And I said, "What?" Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, you know, if Joe DiMaggio comes up and says, "You want some hitting tips?"
And he offered it too, man.
And he offered it.
Wow, that's even a little unusual. You see a lot of kind of standoff mentality of the older superstar kind of guy that waiting for the young player to come to them.
Man, I think there's a difference.
What did he tell you?
He was telling me that when I first started broadcasting, that I was broadcasting, I wasn't communicating. And the thing that I should do is make believe when I was broadcasting on the radio as if I was talking to my mom, telling her the story of the game. He said, because if you broadcast to one person, then everybody that's listening thinks you're broadcasting to them. He said, but if you put on Mr. Announcer voice, then they know you're announcing. And I thought that was a great bit of advice. And that was from the voice of the Yankees.
How's that an announcer voice?
It's almost John Sterling. It'll be a 2-1, you know, something like that. There's a ground ball to second. This should be 2. There's 1 on to first, a double play. Hey, let's take a look at the Yankees in-game box score. There are 15 hits in this box score. So there's a lot to go over, and it's brought to you by Hummer. Johnny Damon with 2 more hits. He had 5 yesterday. Derek Jeter, another big night. Bobby Abreu picked up his 99th ribby. He scored 3. Alex Rodriguez has not picked up a hit. You've got 3 for 5 for Posada, 2 for 5, 5 ribbies for Cano, 1 for 3 with Duncan, 3 for 4 for Minkevich. He was actually 2 for 2 in the Yankees' 7-run 5th, and then Melky Cabrera has struck out twice. He's 0 for 4. Jason Giambi is going to pinch hit for Shelley Duncan. And Posada assuring everybody, hey, I'm okay. You know he wants to be out there when the Yankees clinch. That's probably why he refuses to leave. And you can see he's putting on his gear, so he's ready to go back out there. Now the Yankees are trying to get Giambi straightened out because he has not looked great. He hasn't played that much. So they want to get him enough at bats that he becomes a factor in the postseason. Fouled away.
Yes, it's being reinstated from the disabled list on August 7th. He's batting 193. But that is a product, as you say, Michael, not getting enough at bats, and justifiably so. Minkevich has done a good job defensively and offensively. They're mix and match of Matsui and Damon in left.
And a nice piece of hitting there by Giambi. He squirts it through the shift, and he picks up a 2-out pinch hit single.
It's his second hit in his last 13 at bats now. Gets a ball up in the zone, and that's what hitters like. They want to see the ball elevated. You see about belt high. Stays back. It's good swing through the zone. Even with the pull here, you see Josh Wilson not being able to get to that.
Well, the things are working out for the Yankees where they're going to be able to clinch on their own because Detroit scored 6 runs against Minnesota in the 5th inning. They lead 9-4. So if the Yankees want to clinch today, they're going to have to win. And I think that's what they would feel best about. You know, it's called backing in, and as Al said earlier, you're still getting in, but you just have a different feeling when you win it on the field. So unless the Yankees blow this 12-2 lead, they will clinch the playoffs on the field with a victory and not have to know that the Tigers lost and that they would have gotten in anyway. Foul ball by Minkevich. And there is that score. Washington still leads the Mets 7-6. That's in the top of the 8th inning at Shea. If the Mets do not come back, their lead is 1 in the National League East. A lot of moving parts in the playoffs. In the American League, if the Yankees win, everything's settled. Nice toss there in the javelin. Count 1 and 2.
With a discus.
It was more a javelin.
Yeah.
A discus is a round disc.
Yeah, but it's thrown that way. Javelin, you throw it up in the air.
Well, I think
Way
it's
up.
a combination of both, Al, because the javelin's more like a bat.
Just reaching right now, Mike. The hammer throw, that's good.
We'll go with the hammer throw. Is that all right?
That's good. Keep it away from Giambi. Don't get anybody hurt. It's rare. We get 2 guys Yankees do in their lineup with no batting gloves. It's kind of a blast from the past. Posada.
Posada and Minkevich.
Moises Alou, the same. There's not too many guys.
1-2. Upstairs by Watasic. 2 and 2. We're in the 8th inning. Yankees lead the Rays 12-2. Got a lot of pine tar on that bat. And still it slipped out of his hands.
Plus he's got an unusual way he holds the bat. His left hand, he kind of turns it in. Kind of like a hold the hockey stick.
And the count 3 and 2.
Call it the door knockers. You're supposed to line up your knuckles as the door knockers. These knuckles, let's see if we get it.
They're not lined up at all.
No, no, no. He wraps the front hand. This knuckle and this knuckle should be lined up.
And it worked. Another base hit from Minkevich right down the line. Giambi is at third. They're going to hold him right there. Minkevich picks up a double, and the throw goes wild. Here comes Giambi, and he is out. So a wild throw by Delman Young. but a backup by Guzman, and then he fired to Navarro to get Giambi trying to lumber home. But for Minkiewicz, it's his 4th base hit of the night. Here's the final out of the top of the 8th inning. Yankees don't score despite getting 3 hits. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 12-2 Yanks. It is time to take a look at the Tampa Bay Devil Rays in-game box score, sponsored by Hummer. 8 hits in there, one by Iwamura, a triple in the first inning. He eventually scored a run. Carlos Pena hit his 43rd home run. He has 2 RBIs and now a team record of 118. B.J. Upton was 2 for 3. Greg Norton 2 for 3. A walk to Gomes, a walk to Navarro, and not much else. Delman Young also picked up a base hit. That's tomorrow's starter, Scott Kazmir. He'll go up against another youngster, Phil Hughes. And here's Luis Vizcaino as Chamberlain went 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 strikeout, did not allow a run. Chin-Ming Wang won 6 innings. And those are Vizcaino's numbers. And there's a strike. Line drive, base hit down the right field line. 3rd base hit for Greg Norton. Digging it out of the corner is Abreu, and Norton is on second with a double. This is something the Yankees have to get straightened out, Al. They've got to get Luis Vizcaino right. He's been bothered by a little bit of a tired shoulder. It started out as a stiff shoulder, but now I guess this is too late to be running into the wall, right?
Well, if he is bothered by that, this is not a good time. You're right, Michael, and I know that Ron Guidry has been trying to give him the right time off and let these guys that, as you say, it can't be just Jabba and Mariano and in winning or close games. They need Vizcaino to be well. They need Farnsworth. Malone looks like he's doing a good job.
Johnny Gomes hits one deep to left field. That ball is gone. A home run for Gomes, a 2-run shot. And the Yankees now lead 12-4. And quickly to the phone. So Vizcaino promptly gives up a hard double and a home run to Gomes. For Gomes, his 17th of the year.
Well, it's a fastball down the middle, and you see Johnny Gomes, who is a good fastball hitter, pulls his hands in. Oh, look at this. There's a yellow. Oh, hit the blue seat right over, yeah. Good call. I thought it hit the top of that yellow bar. You're right, Michael. They got to get him right. And so far, the double down the line to Greg Norton and Johnny Gomes, those were both fastballs. And the one pitch to Norton was in the upper 80s. And when Vizcaino is right, he's in the low 90s with sharp slider.
Boy, they will need him in the postseason. There's Josh Paul pinch hitting for Navarro. There's a strike. Now the Yankees are leading 12-4, so they're well on their way to clinching their 13th straight playoff appearance, and they are going to celebrate, and they will celebrate hard in the clubhouse after the game. And yes, we'll be there. Kim Jones working the clubhouse. The cameras are there. You'll see every spray of champagne, every head that's going to be doused with champagne and beer, and we will be there chronicling it all. So make sure to stay tuned once the game is over. There's the first out of the 8th inning. And as we mentioned earlier, if the Yankees make the postseason, certainly seems as if they're going to, we will be there for every postseason game. Every playoff game will be preceded on Yes, a 1-hour pregame show, and then immediately after the final out on whichever network is going to be covering the postseason games, you turn it right back to Yes, and we'll have a full postseason postgame show. Bob Lorenz will be back in the studio. I'll be on the field, and Kim Jones will be working the clubhouse, and all of our analysts will be involved as well. So it should be fun. It's going to be comprehensive, and you've been with us all year, so follow the playoffs with us as well. And the 0-1. Wilson fouls it back.
Vizcaino has appeared in at least 70 games in the last 5 of the last 6 seasons. He's been a workhorse. Milwaukee Brewers, Diamondbacks, now the Yankees.
Wilson grounds it to Alex Rodriguez. Hard throw across the diamond. And there are 2 outs here in the 8th. Hey, the Cubs lost again 7-4. They now lead the National League Central by just a game and a half. So the Marlins beat the Cubs for the 2nd day in a row. Now let's see if Houston, or not Houston, if Milwaukee could take advantage. Here's Joel Guzman. He pinch hit for Iwamura in the 6th and grounded to short.
Well, Vizcaino's going to tie his career high in games. He had 76 games with the Brewers in 2002.
And he's tying it out, not pitching that much of late. So it shows you how much he had packed into the first 5 months of the season. And it's hard to get relievers to tell you they're tired. And they don't want to say, I can't go. They want the ball. And so the more effective you are, the manager's going to go to you more. And it almost becomes something that can hurt you in the long run.
Well, he's done it from 2002 through 2006. He's 5th in baseball at games pitched.
Grounder off the glove of a diving Jeter, and it trickles into left field for a base hit for Guzman.
And you're right, Michael. It's such a mentality for these veteran relievers. You see just out of the reach of Derek. Going to his right. He thought he timed it. I don't know with the stretch whether he would have gotten Joel Guzman, even if he did make the play. But these guys want to pitch. They want to get out there, and that's such the fine line, that tightrope of getting guys to work and making sure you get them the rest.
Pitch to Belandia is outside. Big night for Belandia last night with the grand slam, his first big league home run. His dad, who's battling bone cancer, was actually at the game and actually got a chance to see his 32-year-old son connect for his first big league home run. 208 at bats. Ground ball left side and past the diving A-Rod into left field. So Belandia picks up a base hit and Guzman moves to second.
Just CNI singles right now. It's annoying when you're the pitcher, especially when it comes down to where you're just trying to get your work in and limit your pitch count. You give up 2 grounders out of the reach of your shortstop and third baseman.
Yankees in the dugout talking it over whether or not they want to go to the bullpen or allow Vizcaino to work out of it. And now Guidry will go out and talk things over with Vizcaino. Hey, if you can't catch it live, catch it later on WB Mason Presents Yankees Encore. It's later after each game and again the next morning at 9, and it's only here on the Yankee Entertainment and Sports Network. I was saying before, Al, you don't know how long pitchers could go in the postseason. You really need Vizcaino to team up with Jabba Chamberlain and Kyle Farnsworth to be the guys to get the game to Mariano Rivera. You cannot afford to not have Vizcaino be a part of that.
No. Look, you know, I mean, you get your winning close game situation in the 8th inning on. Obviously, they're going to, from what has been playing out, it's the Jabba to Mo, but there's no question you're going to need at least 2 others in close game winning situations. Because not every starter, Michael. It'd be great, you know, for the Yankees to have their starters go 7 innings per start, but I don't know if you can bank on that.
Farnsworth pitched so well yesterday, a dominant inning, one of his best innings of the year, working out of the full windup. No one got on base, and he was overpowering.
He really was.
Yeah, you talk about Jabba rules. There are Farnsworth rules as well. Farnsworth doesn't pitch more than an inning, and he doesn't pitch 2 days in a row because he's not as effective in that second day. And the Yankees discovered that last year. They just don't use him 2 days in a row, nor do they use him 2 innings, because there's a decided drop-off in velocity.
Well, I still think all that's thrown out the window when it comes to postseason, to a degree. I think, you know, it's a matter of matchups and getting outs.
High pop-up down the left field line. Johnny Damon will make the play, and that'll do it. But a rough inning for Luis Vizcaíno. 2 runs on 4 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. We played 8 full innings at the Trop. It's 12-4 Yankees. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Honda. Visit your Honda dealer and test drive the all-new 268 horsepower Accord V6. IO digital cable, the leader in HD, and HD is free with IO. And by the New York State Smokers Quit line, call 1-866-NY-QUITS for free patches, gum, or lozenges. So we go to the 9th inning. Yankees lead 12-4. Melky Cabrera fouls one back against Brian Stokes. 12-17-0 for the Yankees. 4-12-1 for the Devil Rays. And this has been a rough night for Melky. He's 0 for 4. And in the Yankees' 7-run 5th inning, he actually struck out twice. Been a rough season for Brian Stokes. 59th game and a 7.19 ERA.
89 hits in 61 innings. A lot of base runners.
Now, it tells you, Al, when you look at those numbers, he has an 80 ERA, and this is his 59th game. So any team that would use a guy with an 80 ERA for 59 games tells you how bad their bullpen is, because they don't have any other options. They have to keep going to him.
Tells you how bad their AAA and their player development. To have somebody, you're right, this is not 15, 20 games. This is a whole season. But again, as earlier in the year, we saw these Devil Ray pitchers coming in, and you see what would be considered, you know, good stuff. 94-mile-an-hour fastball, that last one. Breaking ball, his 20-mile-an-hour difference. Throwing strikes, getting ahead, expand the zone. Moving batters off the plate. As you were talking yesterday, Leo Mazzoni, I guess, with quoting Greg Maddux about when Greg Maddux said, you know, really how hard is it? It's just command of a fastball and change speeds. An awful lot of pitchers who can't do it. It's not that easy.
You think it's that a lot of pitchers can't do it out, or do some pitchers overthink? That it's really not as hard as they make it out to be, that if they just change speeds and locate the fastball, you just don't think they can.
Because I threw the gamut, and I've been on one spectrum to the other, to really pitching poorly to doing a good job. And you know, there are moments when you're doing all you can, making the good pitches and not thinking, and you know, guys getting hits, or you're being aggressive and pounding the zone and throwing strikes, getting ahead and getting out. It's like, you know, I just think the rhyme or reason to it isn't always consistent with whether you're making pitches or not.
3-2, and he walked it. So Melky Cabrera will reach first.
And along the line with Greg Maddux or Mariano Rivera, or, you know, these pitchers that have just unbelievable deliveries, that mechanics that enable them to be in position. Yeah, maybe so. But, you know, a lot of that comes from, you know, I think of Dontrell Willis when I played with him with the Marlins. I said, where'd you get that from? He said, when I was a little kid playing stickball with my buddies, I used to have a big leg kick to hide the ball and deceive the batter with the stick, because they used to hit it. I said, you came up with a big leg kick and turn? Yeah, because when I was just doing a nice little delivery, putting it in there, they were hitting the tennis ball. And you know, he created his mechanics. Now, when you look at Dontrell Willis, you say, wow, there's a lot of moving parts. To be consistent is awfully tough.
Line drive, base hit for Johnny Damon. 3 more hits for Damon. Cabrera will go to third. Damon goes to second with a double. 5 hits last night, 3 hits tonight. And Johnny Damon is on fire. Yankees have runners on second and third, nobody out.
And what a great time for the Yankees and Johnny Damon, for him to be on fire. This ball down the middle, and again, hitting off his front foot, fastball outer half, not trying to pull the ball, keeping his head down, driving the ball to left center. And anytime hitters are struggling and for them to get out of it, they do exactly what Johnny Damon's done tonight and last night.
Here's Derek Jeter. He's 3 for 4. He's a triple away from the cycle. Last cycle in Yankee history, 1995, Tony Fernandez. And that's the guy who Jeter took over for at shortstop. So it would be coming full circle. The Devil Rays have the infield in, trying to cut off the run. It's 12-4 Yankees. Yankees are 3 outs away from clinching their 13th straight postseason bid.
I know Derek Jeter's not thinking about it. He probably doesn't even know that he's in position for it.
You don't think so?
I don't know. Derek, if he does, he hides it well, because he does give the golly gee shucks of just playing ball and trying to hit it hard. But this is a pretty good ballpark to hit it. That right center right here with the turf. And his swing. Somebody might have told him. I don't know. I would be surprised if Derek actually knows that he's a triple away.
We'll never know, because you'll ask him, he'll go, no, I didn't, but I bet he knows.
Yeah, you might be right. Has he ever had one?
No. Last Yankees, Tony Fernandez in '95. It's almost as difficult to get a no-hitter as it is to get a cycle. They're about even in baseball history. There's been, I think, a few more cycles than no-hitters.
And why is this cycle not revered as a no-hitter, if that's the case?
Don't know.
Based on percentage, probability. You know what? Because you do it half the time, it's like you don't even realize you're doing it. You know, I mean, it doesn't build up.
And although I wouldn't say 4 hits would be lucky, a triple, there's a lot of luck that plays into it. A no-hitter, yeah, occasionally there's a great play that squeeze into the 27 outs, but it almost seems to me like a cycle is a freaky thing.
Win the lottery.
Right, but a no-hitter is something that's close to perfection. I mean, that's as close to perfection as a baseball pitcher could get. Nationals leading the Mets now 9-6 in the top of the 9th. 2-2. Well, he's not getting the cycle as Jeter goes down on strikes. If the Mets don't come back in the bottom of the 9th, their lead is down to 1 over the Phillies. Amazing. Just absolutely amazing.
They're going to feel it. And when you have a big lead and you're blowing it, you're going to, for as much as no, we're all right. You know, we got to win some games. You feel it. You know exactly what's going on and who's doing what. What's the head-to-head there, I wonder?
The Phillies have beaten them. If they tie, the Phillies win. Phillies beat up on them all year. They won the last 7 games against them. Last 8 games against them. There's Bobby Abreu. He needs 1 more ribby for 100 on the season. The infield is in, so the odds are in his favor. Boy, Stokes throws hard, and you can see why you stick with him. And you can't teach a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, but he's got to have better command. It does show you one thing: you can throw hard, but if it's straight, major league hitters can turn it around.
Or you could throw a straight fastball for the corners, outer third, inner third, and throw a breaking ball for a called strike.
1-1. There's a breaking ball for called strike.
Now that variation there of almost 20 miles an hour. You see Bobby Abreu, as he should, 94, 95 mile an hour fastball. You have to honor it. He's out in front of it. Now comes a 2-strike approach. See Bobby shorten up a little bit. He's going to be going to left center.
It's going to be Mariano Rivera to pitch the bottom of the 9th inning for the Yankees as they try to clinch their postseason berth. Obviously not a safe situation. The Hey, fans, you have to keep it here on Yes following the last out for the Nissan postgame, as Bob Lorenz will give you detailed analysis of this battle with Tampa Bay. And Kimberly Jones is in the clubhouse dealing with the champagne. Cameras are in there. You'll see all the celebration with the key players, interviews as well. We've got it covered from the first bottle of champagne to the last. It's the Nissan postgame, and it's right here on Yes. The 2-2. Abreu picked up an RBI in the 6th inning. He's actually scored 3 runs today. Yankees have not been teddy bears offensively today, but the teddy bear has cleats on it. Very cool. Just for footing, you know. You don't want to slip. The 2-2 popped up. Long run for everyone, and it's going to drop untouched in the Yankee bullpen. If anybody made that catch, that would have been a sac fly, because Cabrera would have tagged and scored.
Just seeing Bobby Abreu on the verge of 100 RBIs, and to consider where he was for much of the start of this season. Coming into this year, 302 lifetime hitter.
The 2-2 popped up. Backtracking is Guzman, and Bobby will not get his 100th ribby there, and they're 2 away. That'll bring up A-Rod.
Just such the importance of knowing that it's a long season, and the Yankees are proving that with the deficit that they've had and coming back to make the playoffs. But how early on, you know, so many people are quick to start writing people off and figuring that they're not the same person. But Bobby Abreu is every bit of what he's shown with the Phillies all those years, and last year with the Yankees.
Well, here's Alex Rodriguez. Infield backs up. Alex has not picked up any ribbies today. Yankees have 12 runs, and he scored a run, but he has not driven in one. He has 151. He's aiming for 155, because that would match DiMaggio's number in 1948, along with Al Leiter. I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on Yes. The Yankees are 3 outs away from clinching a spot in the tournament. The 1-0. 2-0. So if the Yankees clinch, everything in the American League is set other than the pairings. The Indians are in, the Angels are in, the Red Sox are in, the Yankees are in. The American League East has to be decided. Which team is going to win the East? Looks like the Red Sox have a pretty good shot, and then which team will have the best record? Count 3-0 to A-Rod. And Posada is on deck. There's a strike. And A-Rod takes a walk. It's an amazing thing about Alex Rodriguez. He has 151 ribbies. He's got 2 RBIs out there, and he refuses to expand his strike zone and swing at the pitch that he wouldn't swing at in a big situation, because he doesn't want to get himself into a bad habit. A lot of hitters there, they see those 2 ribbies, they're going to swing at anything to try to pick it up.
Yeah, I think less than you think, Michael. There's some guys that are selfish that way, but I think he knows that in the next 4 games, he's going to get more opportunities. And you're right. It's a good approach. Why swing at some pitches that aren't strikes and get you out of what you're feeling good about?
Here's Posada. 3 more hits for Posada. His average at 337. 3 more ribbies for Posada. He has 89 on the year. On-base percentage of .424, .545 slugging percentage, OPS .969. All of the numbers just jump out at you. This is his 500th at bat of the season. And he has 42 doubles. He scored 90 runs. You can't ask for a better season than what Posada's putting together. The 1-1. Fly ball right field. Delman Young is there, and that'll do it for the final out of the ninth. So Stokes works into and out of trouble without allowing a run. No runs a hit, no errors, and 3 men left. The Yankees are going to try to clinch it with their man on the mound. They're 3 outs away. Here in Tropicana Field, they have the Ted Williams Hitters Hall of Fame, but a member of the 2007 induction class, Mariano Rivera. It's almost like they're honoring a guy who turns great hitters into, I don't know, mush. I guess he deserves to be in every Hall of Fame, right, Al?
Yeah, but that's Hitter Hall of Fame. That's something else. Is he the only one? Do we know? We got to get out there tomorrow.
We have to get out there tomorrow. Tell me how it goes. Mariano Rivera will try to get the final 3 outs of this game. And if he does get the 3 outs, then the Yankees are going to the postseason. Now, is that unusual? They've gone to the postseason in 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000, 01, 02, 03, 04, 05, 06, and 07 would be 13 years in a row. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, that was dramatic. Couldn't just say 13 in a row, huh?
I think it built up the drama a bit more.
No, that was great.
Saw the numbers on Rivera. Another splendid season for arguably the greatest closer in baseball history, and he will try to close out this 12-4 Yankee lead. Here's Ruggiano, and there's a strike from Mariano Rivera. And the 0-1. Grounded foul, 0-2.
Aside from Bo being on the mound for this clinching moment.
How about that? The Mets lose that game. Up early, and the Nationals have won 3 in a row against the Mets, and the Met lead is now 1 game over the surging Phillies. Not so much that the Phillies are surging, the Mets just can't win. And the Yankees are 2 outs away. Andy Pettit came back after 3 years in Houston and hoped to lead the team to the postseason. He's certainly done his part. And he was actually part of the Yankee team that got to the postseason in '95. That was his first year, and that was Mariano Rivera's first year. Pettit played a bigger role in '95 under Buck Showalter. Mariano, they really didn't know what they had, but the Yankees know now. The 0-1. Delman Young fouls it back, 0-2. This has been a very strange season for the Yankees. At one point, they were 14.5 games behind the Red Sox. At one point, on May 29th, they were 21-29, and they looked to be headed to a non-playoff season, but they rebounded. They brought up young players. Jabba Chamberlain, Shelley Duncan, Ian Kennedy, an infusion of youth energized this team. And in the second half of the season, there's not a team that has a better record. 15-7 in August, 18-11, or 18-11 in August, 15-7 in September. All they've done is win after a bad April and a bad May. 9-14 in April, 2 games under 500 in May, and then it started to pick up. A good June, a great July, August and September, and it all adds up if the Yankees hold on to 91 wins for the Yankees. So a different route to the playoffs for the Yankees this year. Tapped over the mound. Cano fields, off-balance throw, and they get Young. And the Yankees are 1 out away. Many people in baseball felt that the Yankees would not make the playoffs after the way they started with the injuries. The youngsters, 50 starts by rookie pitchers, unheard of for a team that relies on veterans. Alex Rodriguez with a magical MVP season, 53 home runs, 151 ribbies, and here they are just 1 out away from getting into the tournament, playing in October. Here's Greg Norton. Pitches outside, 1-0. And there will be a celebration. They will not hold back. We will cover every aspect of it. Kim Jones waiting in the clubhouse right now, the 1-0. And this could do it, a pop-up. Cano is there. He will make the play, and the Yankees win 12-4, and they're going to the playoffs for the 13th straight year. And that coaching staff has a lot to be proud of, as this team has battled adversity. They've battled injuries. They've battled big deficits in the standings, but they have persevered. Gutty, gritty, coming back against all odds early and snaring this postseason bid, and that is more relief than celebration by the Yankee brain trust in the dugout. Derek Jeter has known nothing but the postseason his entire major league career, and the captain celebrating with his teammates, and the Yankees are going to be playing in October this season one more time.
I got to believe, Michael, this has got to go down as, if not the most satisfying, certainly one of the most satisfying, just from all the things that you just said.
This is the last out. The smile on Cano's face even before the ball settled into the leather, and he's been a big part of the second half resurgence. Now, under no circumstance do you want to paint the Yankees as the little engine that could, because this is a big-time team with a lot of superstars. But Jorge Posada has been a huge part of this, and those superstars did step up. They battled through all the injuries to the pitching staff. As we mentioned, 50 rookie pitchers took the mound for the Yankees, 50 rookie starts. And the Yankee coaches and Joe Torre waited for the ball to go into Cano's glove, and then job well done between guys that really, really work hard. Those coaches are out here early. They put in the extra time, and they got this team through what was a 14.5 deficit. And I'll tell you what, Al, a lot of people in baseball didn't think this team would make the playoffs.
No, and I'm sure that there was some doubt even down there. I mean, when you're down as far as you were, you believe in yourself, and what Joe does the best of any that I've ever seen or been around, I was only around him for 3 or 4 months in 05, is that he makes everybody think that it's going to be okay. You got a lot of talent, as you said. This is not the little legend that could. This is a very talented team, and Joe kept the ship righted. They got guys healthy, the young kids, the infusion of what that meant, and the energy and excitement of a Shelley Duncan, and certainly what Job has meant here of late. Roger Clemens, Moose clowning around. Look at that.
Well, Shelley Duncan's going to be a guy that people are going to be really shying away from in the clubhouse, Al, because he could be dangerous in a celebration.
Well, he'll remember that from Moose right there. We'll watch that, see what Shelley does later.
So Joe Torre, who has made the playoffs every single year as a Yankee manager, he took over in '96. He's gone to 6 World Series. He's won 4 of them, but he's been part of the tournament every single year. And this year was the one year that it looked as if that streak was going to end. Again, 21-29 was the low point for this team. And then they took off from there. They righted the ship. They got their injured players back. And here they are going to the postseason. Don Mattingly only went once as a player, so he knows how special this is as Joe Torre's bench coach. And the Yankees now will head into the clubhouse, and the champagne has been on ice yesterday. That walk-off home run by Diana Navarro put a cork in it, but the corks will get popped tonight, and the Yankees will celebrate into the evening, maybe even the early morning.
It's got to feel good. And if there's ever a time with athletes and teams, Michael, you want to prove to yourself, of course, but when they got down and enough of the negative talk and the things that were justifiably so during May, you know, to get in that clubhouse and say, yeah, we did it. Not like we're going to show the world thing, but this was very satisfying.
We'll see how satisfying it is. We are going to go into the clubhouse. Kim Jones will braid the champagne. We will show you the celebration inside. This was the celebration on the field. The 3 outfielders get together. Job well done. Yankees win 12-4. They go to the postseason for the 13th straight year. Yankee fans on here celebrating another trip to the postseason, a 12-4 win over the Rays. Let's take a look at the Geico play of the game. Call Geico and save 15% on your car insurance.
Well, that Geico play of the game came in the 7th inning off Carlos Pena's bat. Straightaway center, Jabba Chamberlain. Look at Melky Cabrera diving into center field, 404 feet away. Great play, Melky Cabrera. That's a Geico play of the game.
Yankees win 12-4, 12-18-0. Yankees 4-12-1 for the Devil Rays. Chien-Ming Wang, his 19th victory, 2 straight years. First time since Tommy John back in '80 did that. And Howell took the loss, 1-6. Time of the game, 3:29. Cano was 2 for 5, a home run and 5 ribbies. Posada, a great season, another great game, 3 for 6, 3 ribbies, and a run scored. We come back and we find out who the Chevy player of the game is. A look inside the Yankee clubhouse as they're starting to spray the champagne. Stick around, you'll be part of the celebration right here on Yes. As the celebration goes on in the Yankee clubhouse, it's time to announce the Chevy player of the game is voted on by you, the fans, and the 2 of us here in the booth. Who is it, Al?
It is Robinson Cano. Tonight he was 2 for 5. That was his 19th home run of the year. It was a 3-run homer. Ended up with getting another RBI with the 5 RBIs for the night. Robinson Cano was the Chevy player of the game.
Good job by Cano. He now has 94 ribbies. Coming up on the Yes Network, stay tuned for the Nissan New York Yankees postgame show with Bob Lorenz and Kimberly Jones, featuring complete game analysis and interviews. We'll be in there in the champagne celebration. The senior producer of the Yes Network, and tonight's game produced by Kevin Smolin, directed by John Moore. Pre and post game produced by Bill Bolin and directed by Michael Cooney. Supervising producer Woody Fryman, and the executive producer of the Yes Network is Mr. John Filippelli. Join us again tomorrow for Yankees baseball as the Bombers take on the Devil Rays here at Tropicana Field. The coverage begins at 6 p.m. with batting practice today, followed by the New York Yankees pregame in high definition where available. For more on the Yes Network, log on to yesnetwork.com. Once again, the final score of the New York Yankees 12, Tampa Bay Devil Rays 4. Yankees go to the postseason for the 13th straight time. We'll be back from the booth with some final thoughts in a moment. Kim Jones is in the clubhouse, but now let's go to Bob Lorenz standing by in our studios. Bob?
All right, Michael, thank you. Great to have you with us on this playoff-bound edition of the Nissan postgame. We only get to say that once a year, and let's be honest, back on May 29th when the Yankees were 8 games under 500, 14.5 back in the division, who thought we'd be saying that? But they gutted it out, a lot of pain, perseverance, and now they're playoff-bound again. Let's show you the highlights of tonight's clinching highlights. They're brought to you by Chef's Diet. Visit them on the web at chefsdiet.com. And here we go. Devil Rays got on the board first. It was 1-0 top of the 4th, but Derek Jeter got it right back. First pitch he sees from J.P. Howell, and it's gone. A hit in his 13th straight game. He's hitting .387 over that span. Top of the 5th, 3-1 Yankees, bases loaded. Jorge Posada. Base hit to right center field. Johnny Damon and Bobby Abreu will score. 3 hits and 3 runs batted in for Georgie on the night. Yankees were up 5-1. And there was more to come in the 5th. Robbie Cano follows up. Hammers one deep to right field and gone. A 3-run homer. Cano had 5 ribs on the night. He has 94 runs batted in on the season. All part of a 7-run 5th for the Yankees. Bottom of the 5th now. Runners at the corners. They're stranded. Chien-Ming Wang strikes out Johnny Gums. He whipped 6 over 6. Top of the 6th now. 2 men aboard. Posada. Another base hit to right. That gets Jeter around as he slides in, beats the throw. It's 11-2 Yankees at this point. And then the next man up again, Robbie Cano. And he does it again. Juan Salas comes in out of the bullpen. Robbie greets him with a base hit as Bobby Abreu checks in. And the Yankees have a commanding 12-2 lead. Now, Tampa Bay tacked on a couple in the bottom of the 8th, but then bottom of the 9th, Mo on, lights out. 1-2-3 inning, Greg Norton lifts one out to shallow right center field. And when Robbie Cano gloves it, the improbable is reality. The Yankees rally from the depths of an early season demise and grab the playoff spot. What a story it's been for them as they clinch their 13th straight playoff appearance with a 12-4 win over the Devil Rays, 18 total hits. Johnny Damon following up a 5-hit night, 3 for 6, and Jeter goes 3 for 5. And we want to get right into the action. Kim Jones standing by in the clubhouse. Kim, take it away.
Thank you, Bob. A crazy scene in here already. Johnny, is it sweeter because you guys had to struggle to get to this moment?
Absolutely. What this team went through all along, and to be where we are today, it speaks volumes of what Joe Torre means to this team, and what these youthful guys mean. It's awesome.
I didn't know how you veterans would react, but I knew these youngsters were going to have a blast, and they've been showering all of you. They have no fear.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of firsts for these guys, so you have to enjoy it. You don't know how many times you're going to make it to the postseason in your career, and you've got to enjoy every moment of it. And I'm just proud of these guys, the guys who put it together, and there's a reason why we are where we are today.
You, of course, mentioned Joe. He knows nothing but postseasons as Yankees manager. He looked emotional on the field. Did you see a few tears?
Well, absolutely, because who knows? This could be his last time in. We're hoping not, but you have to savor every moment, and it seems like Joe has done that throughout his entire managerial career. He's savored every moment. He's enjoyed it, and hopefully we can do it this year, because the team that we have now, it's pretty awesome. Where we came from, being way back, we couldn't be happier. We know we have a couple more series to win, but this team is very special.
Just one more thing, Johnny. How about you personally? You knew that you had to light a fire under this offense, and you did it.
Well, yeah, I was very fortunate to get healthy, but I couldn't have done it without these guys. I mean, these guys supported me 100%. Get hot at the right time, and right now it's a hot time, and we're back in the postseason, and hopefully we can just make the New York Yankee fans very happy.
And you've been hitting again. Johnny, thanks so much. Go have fun.
Thank you.
All right, back to you, Bob.
All right, Kim, thanks. Well, you see the young guys, it's almost like they're moving in a pack as they go around to the veterans and shower them with champagne. Well, this is the 13th straight playoff appearance for the Yankees. Overall for this ball club, 47th playoff appearance in team history, 12th straight under Joe Torre, and third as of right now as the wild card. We don't know what'll happen over the course of the next 3 or 4 days. But anyway, let's get right back as Kim Jones standing by with Mariano Rivera. Kim?
Thank you, Bob. Mariano, correct me if I'm wrong. You were not this wet last year.
No, I wasn't wet. Oh, God. Ah.
We're toweling off.
No, I wasn't. And, it's great to see all these young boys, celebrating and feeling great, feeling good, and, it never gets old. I thank God for this opportunity. I thank God for the job that we had done, and we have to continue.
Even for you guys who've been here before, though, this seems more special, maybe because there were so many rocky moments when people counted you out.
Definitely, everybody counted us out, and we just play hard, and all the rookies that came in, help us a lot. So I'm happy and I'm grateful for my whole team.
Does any of the situation remind you of '96? You're setting up Wetland. Jabba now has come in and had such an impact in this bullpen. Does any of that remind you of that time?
It's great. It was great. It remember a little bit about that, yes. But the thing is, we had to definitely do it, and I think we had the team to do it. So we just had to work for it hard.
I think they want you to get in on that.
I tell you, they want me to get in there. Those guys are tremendous. I like it.
Thank you, Mariano.
You're welcome, babe.
Bob, we're going to let him go have fun.
All right, Kim, thanks. So Mariano with a special guest appearance there by Robinson Cano. Now, let's take a look at Mo's numbers for the season. Remember, he didn't get a lot of action early in the season because when they were losing big. There was really no need to put him into situations. So, again, didn't have a lot of saves early, but really came on in some important games in the second half. Ends up with 30 saves, his 10th season with 30 or more saves. And again, the ERA, terrific. And as the season went on, it got better and better, and you saw a lot more of those typical Mo 1, 2, 3 innings. Let's get back to the clubhouse now. Kim Jones standing by with another guest, a big one, Alex Rodriguez. Kim?
I'm with Alex Rodriguez, whose towel is no longer helping. Alex, what a celebration. How much fun is this?
It's a lot of fun. I mean, we've come from a long ways this year, and a lot of adversity, a lot of injuries. and to be able to be in this position, you know, this team has a lot to be proud of.
My goodness, Alex, your numbers, we've talked about them since April. Now more than 50 home runs, more than 150 RBIs. But is it more gratifying to have a season like this in a year where the team comes back like it does?
Well, no question. I mean, you know, there's not one thing that this members of this team did that wasn't needed. I mean, we had a lot of contributors from top to bottom. And, you know, when it comes to Joe Torre, he's our leader, and he's a guy that we owe a lot to this. He kept us focused, he kept us motivated, and I couldn't be more proud of the guys and our coaching staff.
It strikes me that a theme among you older guys is the youth. How much did these young players energize you? Phil Hughes comes up in April, but then the onslaught later.
Well, there's no question that without the youth, we wouldn't be where we are right now. They deserve a lot of credit, Cashman and his staff, and you know, the energy from the young guys is exactly what this team needed.
Alex, an MVP might be in your future, probably will be. What do you see for this team next month?
Well, I think anything is possible. I mean, this team has been through so much, and so many people counted us out early that, you know, right now is in our hands.
You guys feel like saying I told you so?
No, we don't. Not yet. Not yet.
Thank you, Alex. Bob, back to you.
Well, Kim, Alex and the Yankees don't need to. I'm sure there are plenty of Yankees fans who would like to say that, though. And look at Alex Rodriguez, these numbers. Now, let's not forget, we need to underscore this. Everybody's going to say, what can you do for me in October? Just think about what he's done this entire season. When they were losing early on, when they were 21-29, Alex helped carry that team in April and May with his home runs, with his base hits, with his RBI total. He single-handedly won them games and kept them afloat while the other bats started to come around, while the pitching staff got healthy. Some of the key pieces came into being, and when some of the young players were able to get there. Now let's go back to the clubhouse. Kim standing by with Joe Torre. Kim?
Got wet, huh?
Thank you, Bob. I am with Joe Torre, an emotional Joe Torre. This is a big night.
Energy! 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 Oh, God. Oh.
It's still emotional.
You love them. I mean, I can't help it. I mean, if it wasn't for the energy of these guys, and that's been our sort of our catchphrase or catchword the whole year, was we just need to believe in ourselves and have the energy, and these two kids have really been at the center of this thing. It's this ball club never stopped believing. You know, once we got on, once we get on a little bit of a roll and we started feeling good about ourselves, it was just a matter of keeping our mind on what we're doing and not really concerning ourselves. You know, probably the most important thing for me, and you know, you guys heard me talk about it, is that you can't concern yourself with other people. It's all about you, and we took care of ourselves.
Joe, 14 and a half out, 21-29, whatever point you want to take, how did this team never believe it was out of it when everyone was saying it was?
Well, because first off, we knew we were better than obviously 21-29 or 20, whatever it was, and it was just a matter of us, I think, getting healthy in a lot of areas and just trying to figure out what's the best way to put people in the lineup and around it. And to me, I think it was basically, you know, Melky was a big, huge part of it, and Johnny Damon getting healthy. Bobby Abreu getting healthy. The one thing that always gave me hope in this thing, Kim, was how badly our left-hand hitters hit against left-hand pitchers. I knew that was something that was not going to continue, and you know, unless it was just going to be a horrible year. And then all of a sudden things started coming together for us.
Joe, we've talked live tonight with Johnny, Mariano, and Alex so far. They all say this is Joe Torre's team. Our resiliency is a reflection of him.
Now you're going to make me cry. I can't say enough about the passion for this club.
And the youngsters, Joe, make you laugh probably more than anything, right? Whether it's Jabba, Phil Hughes, the Melky and Cano, all of those guys.
Jabba's been incredible. You know, everybody told me about Jabba when he came on the scene in I think AA. I remember Brian Cashman, I was driving home one night, and he says, wait till you see this kid. And you know, all of a sudden he came on the scene, and we started talking about our bullpen. We needed something in our bullpen. And I thought it was a lot of courage on Brian's part to make that commitment. to have a young pitcher like this go out there and try it out of the bullpen. But evidently they knew a lot about his insides and his personality to know that even if he failed at it, it wouldn't affect him.
Joe, you know what it takes. Is there magic in this clubhouse?
Oh, we're good. I mean, we're good. We need to pitch. I think every ball club who's going to the postseason knows how important pitching is, and luck, especially in that first go-round with 5 games. But as far as what we have gone through this year, as far as the pressure, hopefully we can, get a good result and enjoy it while we're doing it.
It's been a remarkable ride so far.
Thank you, Kim.
Back to you, Bob.
All right, Kim, thank you. It has indeed, and we're going to continue on this latest ride, the one tonight in which the Yankees have clinched a playoff spot for a 13th straight year. The celebration continues, and so does our coverage here on Yes, right after this.
Sponsored by the Nissan Sentra. Available with Bluetooth technology. Nissan, shift your ride.